working.
So,
Perfect.
our second podcast today, I hope the
Mm.
technical side is going to be a little bit improved, but we will see,
And
especially the
structure.
sound side.
We need structure
Oh, yeah, this time we might have structure, guys. Maybe.
in the worst topic to try and have structure on. It's like herding cats. This one.
Yeah, what is the topic of today's podcast, Seo?
Uh,
You forgot?
no. I just want to get away. What does hardcore mean to you? What does hardcore mean to you?
Yeah,
Let's
that is going to be
discover.
the today's topic, and we're going to discover this together, hopefully, like all of us. But
Mm.
before we start this, maybe do you still play Paths of Exile Hardcore?
Oh,
What are you doing now?
oh, you stitched me up on a private conversation. I like that. That shows you've got skullduggery tactics already. I don't like Path of Exile 2 anymore. I don't know. I ripped on Saturday with my werewolf. I was really getting into my werewolf
Yeah, I
because,
saw that.
yeah, and I was really getting into it. And I ripped. I knew what was going on. I was getting stunned. There was no stun threshold, so I learned something, especially for melee characters. You really need to get that stun threshold early. Where I took mine late because I was going more end game with my caster. But I think there was on the mod map 100% increased stun from monsters, and because I didn't have much red life, because I know your original stun threshold is based off your red
Yes.
life, where my energy shield is like 4,000, my life was like 1.5. So I was getting stunned. I could feel me getting knocked back quite a bit. And then when I jumped and pounced into a big mob, because honestly, that mob pounce thing with the wolf is great, but it makes you feel like
Yeah.
you're going to a swimming pool and you just want to do that big fat dive bomb, cannonball where you jump and then you go like that and it goes splash. That's how the pounce skill feels for me. I just need to jump into everything, and that was a bit of a
Yeah.
tactical error because I jumped into it, got stunned, and then ripped. I was like,
Yeah, Wolf gameplay was also for me this season one of the most fun gameplay I ever did.
I
I
was
died multiple
fast.
times on the Wolf because he's super squishy. It's a melee character without a shield, basically.
Yeah, well,
But it's a lot of fun. He's
what
fast,
defensive
and
setup you had?
I had 12,000 energy shield.
No, but what did you do? Armor,
That's it. No, I pure energy shield. I played
pure
it on a
energy shield.
lich. Yeah, I played it on a lich. So you have additional damage reduction, right? Because
Yeah,
damage goes through the energy shield, and
yeah.
your life does not move. So I played on a lich. So
I
it had like 30% damage reduction for everything.
okay.
So
I felt for me with the evasion energy shield combo was the right way to go with Varashta and with the physical damage reduction based on the energy shield. I was getting 72%
yeah,
armor, which was great without any investment. And with the evasion, you're dodging a lot. And with the energy shield build up, you can take the odd big hit if it comes on. I mean, obviously, you're not going to survive a corpse explosion here, but it was looking good. It's just I didn't put enough stun threshold early on in the
yeah,
build, which is
it's
regrettable.
definitely a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I will play it next season because it's so squishy, but it's
I
a
don't
lot of
think
fun
it's
to have
that
with.
squishy though.
It is very squishy compared to other
Uh,
shit.
Early on, it is because I figured out I had to go armor energy shield just to get the physical damage reduction early campaign.
Yeah,
But then armor doesn't really do great late campaign.
no,
So, but anyway, that's that's for another day. So yeah, I
okay.
ripped. No, I don't like PoE 2. I'm playing Total War, Warhammer 3. Loving it.
Yeah, Total
Don't
War
give
is
me the face. You're playing
no.
something with a nick.
I did play Total War, the first Total War Warhammer a little bit, but I
Uh,
did not like the battles, which is like one of the
no,
main
I
thing,
love that
right,
you
for
said that.
Total War.
That was the
But I like the
battles.
strategic part. I really enjoyed
Uh-huh.
conquering the places and
Uh-huh.
building your cities and everything, but I
Hmm.
didn't like the battles. And so I like Total War's not really for me.
That's fine.
So yeah, at the moment, I'm just platforming. I'm playing Song for everybody who knows
Yeah,
Hollow Knight. Song is the second part, and it's a ton of fun. Like if you like this kind of
like a
game, so I'm not
rabbit with
really
a sewing needle.
she's a half spider, half queen kid kind of thing.
A rabbit with a
She's
sewing needle. It's got
yes,
rabbit
she's a
ears.
rabbit with a needle,
Uh, so
and
I gone from war with orcs and goblins, and you've gone with sewing platform. It's always a platform game, isn't it?
yeah, it is like Song is a platformer. Yeah, it's a jump and run platformer,
Mm.
and I like it. It's like I don't know, 60-hour experience. I'm almost done with the game, and I mean, good timing because next on Thursday there will be
Okay.
the release stream for PoE2, and then probably some. We'll see what happens after that.
Okay, I think I'm just about
Yeah,
to. I think I'm going to make something up on the fly here.
sure.
Can you? I don't believe in game ratings. I think they're a bit weird and subjective, but there's nothing wrong with the recommendation. So, does this Silk Song Rabbit with a knitting needle? Does it get your seal of approval of a game if you're nearly 60
Yes,
hours
of
into
course. Yeah,
the
I
Twinson
think
seal?
I think Hollow Knight.
Uh,
This is basically Hollow Knight 2. It's called Hollow Knight 6 Song, right?
mhm.
I think Hollow Knight is probably the best platformer. And I have not played so many platformer. I played Ori and the Blind Forest, which
You've
is
never
also a
played
very
Rainbow
well-known
Island.
platformer. No. I played Super Metroid back in the, 90s or
Rainbow
something.
Island is way before that.
So,
That's Commodore
um
64.
it's if you like a little bit of like if you like Souls games, for example, Elden Ring and stuff,
Yep.
then and you can enjoy platformers, then Hollow
Mm,
Knight is definitely for you because it has this. You have to do a boss like 20 times to learn the mechanics. Like you cannot just run through it. Maybe if you're
yeah.
a platform god and you only play these games, but a normal person is like same as in the Souls games. You have to do the bosses over and over to learn the mechanics, and then you can beat them. And that's very satisfying. It's really cool.
Total War
So
Warhammer 3 is satisfying. I give that a Zeo seal of approval. Go check it out, chat. Okay.
yeah, check it out.
You want to
Does it
move?
have a hardcore mode?
Yes, I'm playing Iron
Does
Man
so?
and the
Yeah, Iron Man. Yeah,
legendary campaign. So that means the AI is just super beefed in economy.
yeah.
You get penalties on morale. Morale is important to break a unit. And then the battle difficulty is very hard. So it's all crank up. Also,
Yeah.
there's an end times end game. Actually, Total War has an end game. And what's coming up soon? End game update with PoE2. Nice segue. But yeah, it's all max, baby. One save file, no save scumming, no cheating.
Yeah, I when I play stuff like Europa
Pink
Universalis or
Queen.
Stellaris and stuff, I also always play Iron Man.
Yeah, my camera's gone a bit
It's just
weird.
one save, and if you fuck up, but in these games it's a little bit. If you actually fuck up, you can fix it kinda most of the time. It's not like you
Yeah,
may make one mistake and it's completely over. Like it goes down if your empire goes down, but you probably can save it. Good. Well,
cool. Wow, glad you're having fun.
yeah, you too.
I am.
Good to catch up on this.
It is.
Um, okay, let's move on to a bit more towards the topic of what we want to talk about today.
What does hardcore
And
mean for you?
yeah,
Did I do the title
but
good again?
before we can determine that,
Yes.
um, we're gonna take a look at a video you did some time ago. Like it's 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks,
Two
I
weeks,
think,
maybe
around
3 weeks ago, that
two weeks
video.
ago,
Hmm.
where you were talking about logout, and this is also
Yes.
going to be a big topic today, especially like. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can talk about in hardcore, but we especially want to talk about
Hmm.
logging out or logout macro. This is I did a little bit of research, and like people like I don't know 15, 14 years ago were already complaining about this. Back in the Diablo 2 times, people were talking about this. So we will not probably not find a solution today, but I mean, why not talk about it, right?
I
So
feel like this is probably
um
going to be the one time that I'll talk about this on podcast, unless it gets brought up by someone else. I've had a chat with my own chat
Yeah.
about this, so yeah, it's a big one. So let's go. Are we moving
Yeah.
to podcast content screen or not?
Yes, we should do that in a moment.
In a moment.
First, we
Okay.
want to talk about something that is very important for this topic because you were had a little bit of a spicy title
I did, didn't
containing
I?
stuff like cheating and stuff.
Oh, it
So
was great.
first, let's go for our like I
Mm,
can also go for my content screen. Yeah.
that was the bait, but a genuine bait. I think it was an honest bait. I
Yeah.
knew what I was doing, but I had to play the game. But I felt like I sold my soul a little bit. But then it was on point. It was part of the subject matter. So
So
I'm going to heaven,
let
not
me
hell yet.
see.
Hopefully, chat agrees.
Let's see. Oh, why is it so small suddenly here on my side? Let me make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, first we want to talk a bit. We are going to take a look at Xeo's video, the
Not the
first
whole lot, I hope.
minute. No, just the
Just the
first
first minute.
minute.
Yeah.
And then we're actually going to talk a little bit about what is cheating. What does cheating mean? Because a lot of people claim that
hmm
logging out in passive exile is actually cheating.
There
And that
is
is a term
a segment
people
of the
throw around a
community
lot.
that does say that. Yep.
Yeah. So let's play the clip, okay?
Okay. God, that's like a TV station. Do I need to go? Do I have to have the clip playing from my stream because they have
No,
no idea what's
yeah,
going on?
you probably have to like we have no synchronization. Sorry, guys. So
Oh my god!
everybody plays the clip for their own
For
community,
their
like
own
basically
audience. I thought you were doing
for their own
everything.
audience.
Yeah, I thought you were doing everything today. I thought I was going to have an
I
easy
offered you to
podcast.
share the browser source, but
I don't
you
know if
said
you can
nah,
share it.
no time.
It's the 2010 FIFA World Cup, the quarterfinal between Uruguay versus Ghana. It's the final seconds of extra time and the score is 1-1. Ghana are awarded a free kick and the ball is whipped into the box. Ghanaian rises above the defence and heads the ball straight towards the centre of the goal. The ball is going in. It crosses the line. Ghana reaches the semi-finals of the World Cup. But something happens, and in that split second on the goal line, Luis Suarez, a striker for Uruguay, makes the snap choice. He handles the ball on the line. A red card is branded to Suarez and he is sent off. A penalty is awarded to Ghana. The Ghanaian steps up to take the penalty. All the pressure of the nation is on his shoulders. He strikes the ball and he hits the crossbar and misses. A moment of despair for the Ghanaian, but a moment of survival for the Uruguayans. That was the last kick in the match, and the referee blows the final whistle in extra time. The match now goes into a penalty shootout. The end result is Ghana loses the penalty shootout, and Uruguay go through. Years later, this has sparked debate. Some people calling it cheating. Others call it survival, win at all cost mentality. Sacrificing himself with the team so they had a chance to reach the semi-final. And it worked. So, keep that moment in mind as we move forward into this video, as we explore hardcore PoE 2. Right. I think I did a boo-boo. I don't know if my chat heard that or not. I don't know if they heard that.
I'm very sure my chat heard that.
I'm not sure if my chat heard that. But I think
As you can see, guys, we are technical experts.
yeah, I think I did that wrong. I think I did it as an application, not as a browser source.
No, application is fine. You just have
Is
to
it?
click that it records the sound.
There was no soundbar coming up, so
That's bad. Then it was like a silent video.
it was a silent video for them. Well, I think they know what that video is all about.
Probably. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna nick your recording then. You're gonna have to send me your upload to YouTube so I can edit it. Okay.
Okay. So first, we like to talk about what is actually cheating, and I think maybe we should start a little bit with some comments about the scene we just saw. Just a quick comment, I would say, from both of us. And of course, because you made the video, you can start.
Oh, thanks for stitching me up because I'm still freaking out the fact that
I can. Should I start? It's fine.
I think you should start because the
Okay.
point being is
I was.
you wanted to get the quote up on there, or we just
Yeah,
going to talk
I will
about them?
bring. I will bring some quotes up while to
I think the
support
best
what I'm
idea is to put it into chat because then chat can see it. I would highly recommend to take the name
the
of the person that wrote it off chat as well because I don't want to.
I cannot copy the quotes because they are screenshots.
Oh, you
I
don't
can't
have it
copy
text
them out.
based.
No, of course not.
This
It's
is going.
screenshots in my PowerPoint presentation, basically.
Nah, that's quite good.
So I cannot copy these.
Okay.
Like, um,
We should have more prep time on this. Okay, send me over.
I can I can
You've
I
sent
can
it
read
over to
them.
me. Yeah. No, I can try
I
and
can
get
I
them up.
can.
Yeah, read them
I
out.
mean the definition I can copy to you, of course, because we wrote the definitions down, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I not
Definitions we
the
can.
not the other things.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, let
we
me
can
let
do that.
me open like start this and close this and
Moving
hopefully
forward,
this.
we know this is a very technical now.
Well, let me copy some of the definitions for you. Or should I just pass it directly into the chat?
Put it into
I
chat
can
because
just
then
pass it.
chat can see it. I mean,
Yeah, I can just pass it
we
directly
don't
into
have
the
loads of
chat.
wiener emotes at the moment, so
So this is just so that the Xeo part of the chat knows what we are talking about, like this one.
so
So some definitions
yeah.
we were looking up for that I want to use for to
Hmm.
make my point. For what is cheating, right? Cheating is the act of using dishonest, unfair, and we come to unfair later, I think, or deceitful methods to gain an advantage, violate rules, or betray trust, often for personal gain. It includes violent, romantic, exclusivity, infidelity, breaking rules in games or exams, or fraudulent behavior.
Hmm.
And I have one more.
One more. You want me to
Yeah, of
read
course,
this
I have
one out?
two. You can read this out if you want to. This is the
According,
next
well,
one.
it is from my motherland. According to the Oxford Learner's Dictionary, cheating is the act of behaving dishonestly or unfairly to gain an advantage, often by deceiving someone. It involves breaking rules in games, exams, or competitions, or violating trust in relationships.
Yeah. So for me, so I
Mm.
think we can agree on these definitions, right? For
Yeah.
cheating, I think this is a very very common way of saying, yeah, this is cheating. And to make matters or to make my point here, for me, what we just saw in the video is actually cheating.
Well, from
And
Suarez.
yeah, von Strauss is cheating
Yeah.
because he gained an advantage against the rules in a dishonest, deceitful, unfair way. I think it basically checks all the boxes here we have in the definition.
Mhm.
The fact that this, in the end, it helped him is a problem with the system. They do the punishment, but if it's cheating, yes or no, for me, it's very clearly cheating.
Mhm. Okay. Um.
What
I would- Yeah. Yeah. But there is the flip side to that where people don't view it as cheating is that
Mhm,
he played the rules within the system and accepted the punishment. He knew there was going to be a
mhm,
punishment there. So here we go. You're going to hate me saying this. He was playing his own mini game, and he was because he was still playing the rules because the rules are you don't handball. Only the goalkeeper can handball the ball. So obviously he knows those rules and he decided to break those rules because there is a punishment and he was willing to accept that to be able to give his team an opportunity. So in the context, that's the ultimate survival sacrifice that he made to give his teammates in a team ethic. So it's different perspectives or mentalities, but for his team to get to the World Cup, the literal phrase win at all costs, the cost was him getting sent off and missing the next 3 games because it was a straight red. So next two
yeah.
games or whatever. So his World Cup was over, but it gave his Uruguay an opportunity to progress to win the trophy. So go back to a win at all costs mentality. So mentality, very much in what does hardcore mean to you, can be a matter of perspective because
Yeah.
some people see it as he did whatever it took to win by breaking the rules, taking the punishment, and then his team managing to get through to the next, well, the semi final of the World Cup.
Yeah. So I have one more thing I want to say to that because I
Mm.
don't want to make this into like a 1 hour
No,
discussion.
we've had a one and a
And
half hour discussion on
yeah, we
Suarez's
talked about
handball.
this chat. We talked about this actually for a very long time.
Yeah.
But the core question is he
Mhm.
cheating or not? And I would say he was he was cheating, but he knew what will happen. And in the grand perspective of things, he was like, okay, I'm cheating right now, but it will give us more benefits than problems. Because if he does not do this, they are out, right? They will score a goal and they are out.
He
So
created
it's
opportunity,
a, yeah, by actually
cheating.
by cheating. That's what I think. Like
Mm,
it's not a question of is he cheating or not for me, because for me he ticks all the boxes. The action he did is
mm.
all the boxes. It just feels in especially in football, in modern football, it is like an accepted thing to
Tactical play,
use
it's called.
this
It's a tactical
to
decision
yeah,
or a
it's a
tactical,
tactic
yeah,
as we talked about that, right?
yeah.
Like fouling people and so on is, in my opinion, every time you do that is cheating. But because you know the consequence, and it's basically become part of the overall tactic, like including these little cheating boxes, because you know what will happen, and it will overall we in a weird way benefit you, which it should not, right? It should
Mhm.
actually cheating should not benefit you, but it will benefit you. And yeah,
Okay.
that's just my point.
No, no, I agree. It's hard not to disagree with you on that, but being a football fan, I do agree. It's like the tactical foul where the opposition get
Yeah.
the ball, they're on a break, and you pull his shirt back just to stop him from. Then yeah, that's you always get a yellow. But even the commentary says that's a tactical yellow. He's took one for the team. It's a phrase that gets used often. So, but the word cheating, it's like when you dive for a penalty. You know, you're trying to con the referee to say that the player's fouled you when he hasn't. That's got more of a heaviness within the football community. That's cheating. But doing a foul,
Yeah, because that is actually that's even more dishonest, right? The dishonest box is getting checked the harder. Like when you
levels.
foul someone, a tactical foul, it's like you know you're getting called out from the ref and you're getting a yellow card. But
Mm,
if you dive and you try to push basically a penalty on someone else, then you have this dishonest part. Like this is
yeah.
it's a bigger role, right?
Yeah. Okay. Suarez.
Okay, very good. Um, yeah, then I would like to let's check out some comments
Comments. Oh
from
my God.
yeah, comments from some of the viewers.
I feel like I'm being
Um,
interrogated here. I'm joking.
so now that we kind of talked a little bit about what is cheating, and
Hmm.
this example of a situation, is it cheating or not? I I collected some of the comments on your video from
Oh,
people
did
who
you?
are actually believing it is cheating. I just want to go through that, and I don't want to
Mhm.
discuss all of them, but just so we have
There
some,
was a lot of comments.
so we know
Half of
what
them
we're
mine.
talking about.
Thank you
So
for commenting on my video. Is what I did.
the first one
Yep.
is from Sean Wolf 5961 2 weeks
Can't believe
ago.
you're naming them out. I just leave the
Why
names
not?
out. My
It's a
God.
public opinion, and in my opinion, if people don't want their name to be called out, they should not post publicly. You know, it's a
I see.
public
I'm totally English. I
opinion.
like a little bit of decorum, but no, fair play. They put it up on. It is
If
on.
you put yourself out in the public, you should
You
actually
should get
accept
it.
that your comment is
Yeah,
discussed. If
that's
you have a
true.
public opinion, which is fine, people might talk about your public opinion. And oh, by
That
the
was
way,
what Twitter
I'm
used to be, didn't it? And before it got X'd. So
Just to be fair, I don't want to put anyone here against the wall and shoot them or something, right? It's
no,
just like
no,
I picked up different opinions,
those
and
days are
every
long
opinion
gone.
is valid in some kind of
No, I
in
get that.
some way,
I know.
right?
Could you just say this person?
This person,
That's
but
better.
I have the name in my stream, but
Okay then.
I would just read it. But I thought if I say the name and you want to look it up in your comment section, you can just find the comment
And
because I
then
cannot copy it.
my chat can then go on a witch hunt and go and get him.
Go and get them.
My
Anyways, I
chat
would just read it.
my chat like gaslighting me, so they've got skills. I'm very proud of them.
I would just read it. Okay.
Okay, go on then.
So this person says 3 minutes in, and I'm saying this: people who play on hardcore choose that. They know what they are getting into. They know they are getting to lose everything they worked for if they die. So yes, it's absolutely cheating. So there's no excuse for it that makes it okay. And if someone doesn't want to play hardcore,
Mm-hmm.
then they need not to play hardcore. It's not fucking rocket science. Not everyone wants to experience that level of pressure in gaming, then don't play hardcore. You want to
Mm-hmm.
talk about fairness, people chooses knowing that you get one singular death. That is stupid, and yes, they are not real hardcore players, regardless of what you say. That isn't attacking people, it's fact. It comes back to not choosing to play a difficulty you know you aren't going to enjoy. That's an
Mm-hmm.
interesting opinion. So this person is obviously very on the pro. This is absolutely cheating and
Okay.
cheating side. I
Mm-hmm.
like, I like that. In the end, he's saying that this is not attacking people, but it's a fact, and stating something as a fact is fine, but you need to back it up, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
with like sources, right? And or like statistics or something. But okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one, I think I picked out 4 pro cheating comments just so we get a little bit of a picture here.
Yeah.
So can I say the name of the next person?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Okay. Huskus01 said, "It's
Yep.
cheating. GGG has your character log out for instances where you lose connection or power, and that's out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
Logout just abuse this feature. In PoE2, the game can be played in a way that doesn't have screen vomit and is somewhat readable. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's up to GGG to keep it that way if they want hardcore to be in any way playable."
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So also a point of view, like it is cheating, and logout is not meant for what it is used, is this person's opinion. That's how I read it. We will come to that later
Mm-hmm.
if that is actually correct. Then I have another one from Shyla187. This person says, "If you log out, then you don't play true hardcore." Simple opinion. And the last one from Perfect Andrews and
Mm-hmm.
Andres. Sorry if I mispronounce his name. "Logging out isn't cheating, but using third-party software, which is using third-party libraries to close TCP sockets for instant logout, is definitely against GGG's TOS.
Uh-huh.
Multiple actions which are impossible to do through chat commands. Unfortunately, GGG has zero cheating protection that is being said. It's tolerated and probably won't get banned for it."
Okay.
Interesting. Like closing statement for this.
Okay. Go on then.
I don't think we need to go in one
No,
by
that's
one,
fine.
one by one,
No, it's fine. Just yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Okay.
because we will pick up some stuff in the next one when we were actually talking about logout and is logouting cheating and giving some
Mm,
arguments for that or
mm,
against it.
okay.
So for me, when I read this, um, what I really don't like is that cheating has, like, the word cheating has such a negative meaning,
Mhm.
and calling someone a cheater is in gaming, in my opinion, is one of the worst things you can do.
Yes.
So I think these people should throw around this stuff very easily. Like basically,
Mhm.
if I call someone else cheater, it's like basically you're a fucking retard. That's what I'm more or less in my from my perspective. If
Mhm.
I would call someone a cheater and I'm not joking with that person,
Mhm.
I'm really serious. It's a very heavy insult.
Yeah.
And a lot of these comments are, in my opinion, based on simply not having the right informations, which we come to later.
Mhm.
Um, like they are not really informed about what is the actual state and stance of GGG. So there's others are. I mean, others are very. In Germany, we call it Bauchi. It's like your gut feeling, right? Your belly feeling.
Yep.
It's
We
more
have
like
that.
this is yeah, like
Yep.
your gut feeling.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, not really based um on definitions or on definitions people agree about, for example, about cheating.
Mhm.
So that's a little bit my take on this. So I don't want to point these people out like you're bad people. I just
Mhm.
think some people should be a bit more careful with if they are not trolls. Like people might be just simply trolls and just want to
Well,
steer up bullshit. Yeah.
I
So
have I have to say that the comments on that video have been, I would say, non-toxic. I was pleasantly surprised
yeah.
with the amount of comments on that video, with even people say, "I call it cheating." Um, there wasn't any nastiness or question people's integrity or anything like that. There was a point of view. Um, so it's kind of, it's almost polarized to whether it is or it isn't. I think there is a medium, which hopefully my video kind of tried to convey that. But um, yeah, I think the comments on there were pretty respectful. I would say 98%
I would say
of them
most
were.
of them.
Yeah, I would say most
Most
of
of them,
them.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There are some comments actually questioning your integrity.
In
If you
what
log
way?
out,
By using the word cheating?
not just cheating. People
Mm.
are simply like I did not pick out all comments. Otherwise, I would have like far more here on the list,
Yeah.
and I think four is enough. But there are comments basic questioning the integrity of your playing hardcore, for example. Very strong into this perspective. Like if you use logout, you could basically play softcore, which is a completely wrong misconception of this, in my opinion.
Here we go. I'm we're friends.
Yeah,
I
sure, just go
don't
for it,
think
man.
there was
Just try.
anybody on there though, those comments. The problem is how I see it, because I'm quite neutral, and I'm very neutral in it. Not saying my perspective is 100% or anything, or like I sit on some sort of silver cloud and can speak from a high horse. But in those comments, though, interesting, the ones that were saying cheating, there wasn't any accusations of people cheating, saying you are cheating. I don't think it was just. I think there is a little bit of a sensitivity if the word cheating is mentioned in a sentence. I think it's cheating, then the individual that's reading it, and I can understand
Mm,
that from their perspective, they would read it and then they would interpretate it as a questioning of their integrity and their standing. So I 100% understand the perspective of the person who reads the comment, of someone who says, I think it's cheating, because then they will take it not personally, but I can see it, whichever way they're gonna take it, they feel like it's potentially an attack on them. But at the same time, the person who's put, "I think it's cheating," is just stating a point of view. Again, I think, which falls under very nicely of this podcast title, "What is hardcore for you?" And for them,
yeah.
that's their hardcore. So their perspective is that they think it's cheating.
Yeah, if it would be
Oh, that
more
was a lot,
clear
weren't it?
that in their world it is cheating, then it's fine. But if they clearly state that logging out is cheating,
Who's clearly?
then like I mean, here you ask in your
Oh, yeah,
video,
I
right?
asked
You
it because
ask
I
the
posed a
question.
question, so they are just
Yeah, and there are
responding.
people like
Yeah.
as you see on the comments, people
Mhm.
say it's cheating.
Yeah.
So they state logging out is cheating.
Yep.
So everybody using logging out is a cheater.
No, no, I
That's a
think
normal conclusion.
oh, I
If
love
you are
this.
cheating, you are a
No,
cheater. That's the normal conclusion of that. There's no like he's cheating, but he's not really a cheater. That is like that does not make any sense, right?
no, I mean,
I think so.
that no, I think but this comes back to my original point. Interpretation is how you're reading it. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna dissect you, but I'm trying to offer some I mean, I'm reading one comment here that said where is it? I mean, that's a bit mean a little bit. If you log out, then you don't play true hardcore. I mean, that's their perspective. That's how
Yeah, that's something else. That is
and
what is my
yeah.
hardcore, right? What is your hardcore? That's actually not that bad. It's like you don't play true hardcore, in
Well,
my
one said,
opinion.
but
That's
I
something
call it
else.
cheating as shorthand, but my thoughts boil down to if you need to pause or log out or use the disconnect script as insurance, you're no longer playing hardcore. So this guy, I don't want to go delve into the things, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to add a perspective on those who use the words, I think it's cheating. That's an opinion and a
Yeah.
viewpoint of what hardcore means to you. And those commenters, I will defend them a little bit. I'm not saying you're attacking them, definitely not. But I've posed a question as the content creator, content creator, my God. I posed a question on my video, is it cheating? And they're answering the question. Um, so I'm kind of defending them here. It's how they use that language. If they start attacking people, accusing you, Twinson TV, are cheating, then that's an attack potentially on your integrity and your character. So I can understand where you get conflict, but an opinion of I think it's cheating, that's their opinion. I mean, if you, this sounds really mean, if you, the individual, the reader, cannot cope or deal with that perspective, that then that's not on them. That will be on the person who's reading that comment.
That's true. Like I don't hate these people.
No, no, no. We're not hating.
And
Definitely not.
nobody
100%.
nobody here, like, just I mean, you guys have obviously noticed, I am using logout. I'm logging out when I about to die, just to make this clear.
Hmm.
I'm not also nobody is like, "Twins and you are cheating," but they have, if they generalize it, and I am part of this generalized group, then it goes into my direction, right? If they
Mm.
say people who log out are cheating and I am a person who is logging out, so what they say is you are cheating.
I don't, yeah,
This is just
I understand that,
right.
but then that's again come back down to the individuals are trying. I understand what you're saying, but at the same point, the individual
Mhm.
who's making a point saying, "I believe it's cheating," they're not calling you a cheater. I mean, you could say the language. Here you go. The language is correctly. If they went, "For me, I believe it's cheating." That's a perspective for them. They
Okay.
believe, okay, I've got 4 Dutch guys that I play D&D with. I've asked this question to all 4 of them, and do you know what they said? And they're great, great people. They're teachers.
Yeah.
They're good family people. And we all play hardcore D3. They see it as cheating, but they don't attack it. But that's how they see it for them, that it is cheating. You're cheating the game.
I mean, sure,
So
they might be like cheating is actually not really an aggressive thing, or it's not really an insult, or it's not really not
no, but
such a
I think
really
it's the
negative. They see it
word.
more like people cheat all the time. Like in football, for
Yeah,
example, like
yeah,
people
we've
do
gone through that one.
strategic cheating. So
Yeah.
it's not like I
Tactical.
mean it as a mean thing. And maybe it's my perspective. From my perspective, cheating, because I have a lot of like, for me, cheating is always
Mm.
a very negative
Yeah, it's the
and
word.
deceitful thing. Like
It's
for me,
even yeah,
cheating,
100%.
yeah, like being called a cheater, or someone calling a cheater,
Mm.
is very much a very, very negative thing for me. And it might be for other people, it's not that negative. It's still negative, it's overall a
Oh, I
negative word.
agree. I
But
agree.
yeah,
I
but some
agree.
people might be
Mhm.
like, I mean, he's cheating, but it's not that bad. Like for me, the word is not that strong. That could
No.
be the case.
But the problem is you are
Okay.
right. The word
Yeah.
cheating is a very aggressive morally, it's a moral question. You're questioning somebody's integrity and their morality. So 100% get why people would get defensive on it. But I think the perspective, the reason why I made that video actually is I did it because I was in Timmy P's stream and he paused and he
Yeah,
tactically looks at the situation before he goes, right, do I continue this fight or do I
yeah.
retreat? So that's his play style, which was fine. But I was in his chat, and this was about 6 months back, and somebody started berating him in his chat saying he was cheating. Now, I didn't agree with that behavior because you're attacking someone's integrity, you're attacking somebody's question. I was like, yeah, but if that's how he wants to play the game, he can play it like that. So for
Yeah,
me,
sure.
obviously, if you start accusing people of cheating, but I think I might have to defend, not because it's my video, I don't really care about that, but I think those comments in there, because I set the platform up to have that conversation, you will get viewpoints that don't align, or play styles or interpretations that don't align with other people's. I think a lot of those comments that did say, I believe it's cheating, it's how they view hardcore. And going back to the original title of this past call, this podcast, the title, what is hardcore for you? What does it mean for
Yeah.
you? And to them, it means it's cheating. But one man's bread, fish is another man's dinner. I can't remember that saying. Do you get what I mean? So
No, I get what you mean. Yeah.
the problem being is it feels like it's one-way traffic. Because if I sat there and go, you're cheating, you've got nothing you can come back with. It does feel like a personal attack because you can't really overly. I'm not doing anything that's. Can you see? I'm not the one
Well,
that's throwing the morality question. That's why. That's
it's
the
not
issue.
for me. That's why we did the like. That's why we
Definition.
defined cheating, and why we are going to dive into this deeper in a moment. Because cheating is not a gut feeling, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Cheating is actually defined, and you can determine is an action cheating by seeing if it actually falls under this
Mm,
definition or not. It's not like the term hardcore or some other things that are
mm,
that are based on how the person feels today.
mm,
At least from my point of view. So it's it's not so much opinion based. It's
mm.
more an objective thing. Like if something is cheating or not. You can, of course, it can become a gray area if it's not clear if it falls under these conditions. I agree with
I
that.
think it does fall under one. I've been saving it, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, we will come to
Also,
that.
I just want to
We will
highlight
we will
Crouchin for a
yeah,
second. He did say that some people were careful to articulate it was their opinion. The person quoted
basically.
was not careful not to articulate it there. Yeah, and that's why I agree with Crouchin. That's what I said. Like
Yeah,
95, ninety eight
sure.
percent of the comments were, putting a good debatable or opinionated without being accusational. I think that's what the issue is because it does feel like one-way traffic. Feels like a chat or someone could be weaponized that we're on a more high standard than you, and then what's it, punching down? That's the word, punching down.
Yeah,
Is that right, chat? Punching down?
punching down.
Yeah. No, but it does because hardcore
I'm on a
players.
moral high ground, yeah, and I
Yeah, but
kick
you're an
down.
elitist. I tell you
I am,
why.
absolutely.
Yeah, because I tell you
Of
why.
course I am.
Hardcore players, I think this is what
Are
hardcore
all
means for you.
elitist.
We're all elitists because we think we're better
Of
than
course.
softcore players.
Of course. Yeah.
No, but the ones that don't log out are even more elitist. There's like a tier system. They're like uber elites, which are like
Who
looking
knows?
down
And
and just
and and those
punching.
who actually shoot themselves after they die are
Yeah.
more elitist, right?
Yes, the one that
So
does self-sacrifice. I had to. They wouldn't have ever let me
okay.
down. No, but can you get my point
Um,
about the elitism?
yeah.
Elitism again is an accusational because I'm then accusing hardcore players of all being better than everybody else.
No.
Morality, no. But I'm trying to make the point that I think the reason why it's difficult with hardcore players, when you have another hardcore player saying, "I think it's cheating," which is fine. That's an opinion base. That's totally reasonable. You can have that. But it's when they weaponize it and then use it against another hardcore player and say you are cheating.
Yeah.
like in chat and things like that, that is when it's one-way traffic, because then you're attacking someone and that person can't defend themselves. Well, they can, but then they put them in a very uncomfortable position of their own gameplay, their own game time. Why the hell they should do that? So that's why I made the video, because I wanted to try and
Yeah.
I wanted to reach out to the elitists and say, look, don't be too elitist, please. I don't know if that was the actual objective, but
Yeah, one last thing to that, and what I also fear this introduce is a bunch of gatekeeping for people who are who start to play hardcore or who like to play hardcore, and then
yeah.
they get this pushback from part of the community saying like,
Mhm.
if you do not play hardcore this way, you can just fuck off and play softcore. Like, and
No, I don't like
this
that. I think that's few and
most
far between, but it does exist. I'm not going to say it doesn't
Yeah,
exist. It
I'm
does.
just saying, like, if
Yeah.
you push against it too aggressively, you
Hmm.
might actually scare away people, and maybe you don't care. Maybe it's I don't know how much it matter in the big thing,
Mm.
picture, but I think that we should always welcome new people in the hardcore community,
Mm.
and trying this. For me, it feels like gatekeeping to be like, this is hardcore. If you don't play it this way, you're not really a hardcore player.
Yeah, but that
You're
comes
like a
back to what I was
mid-core or
saying.
a
You've
softcore.
got an even tier system in hardcore, where softcore, you probably got it. Everyone's pretty universal because everyone wants to trade. I mean, you've got your elite traders, but that's different. That's like a trade commitment time level. But hardcore, there is like that little. Well, it even comes back to something Revo was talking to me about was tradies. This hardcore tradies thing. I didn't even understand this. I think I switched on global chat about 3 months ago, and then you've got this whole hardcore community thing in. I mean, no one takes global chat seriously. But honestly, they're arguing over, so, well, you're a hardcore tradie, you're a tradie, you're not an SSFer, you're not one of us. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
There was this whole other tier system of hardcore players. So if you look at softcore, you've got softcore, really. They're all traders, they're all trying to do the content, they're all min-maxing. There isn't really like a class system or a tier system, but apparently hardcore's got this, which kind of like, okay, this
Just
is
just just
weird.
to some degree, and it's
Very
sorry,
micro, but
it's a
it's
bit lot of about bragging rights and
uh,
everything, but in the end, it would be great if we do not go so hard against people because they are using a different style,
yeah.
and try to throw them out of the hardcore community, basically. I think hardcore is
Mm,
such an amazing thing to play, especially hardcore SSF, in my opinion,
mm,
that we need we need more people in it. We need more people to share their adventure, more people to join the hardcore community because
yeah,
it's just so much fun. And by doing actual, even if it's not intended, but by doing gatekeeping like this, I don't know how many people get pushed out by that. I have no numbers, no statistics, but I assume some people read this stuff and be like, "Ah, guys, go blah blah blah. I'm just gonna keep playing my softcore character.
yeah, yeah,
I don't wanna I don't wanna interact with your weird community that is actually so elitist that basically like if you don't do A, B, C, D, you're just like a piece of shit."
yeah. No, but
Okay.
yeah, no, and that's why I created my video, to try and bridge that gap and stop that hardcore. At the end of the day, is completely how you want to play it, what your experience of what you want to do, how you want to interact with it. If you want to log out, pause, I don't know, play it in any way, at the end of the day, it's your time and it's your game. You've spent the money on it,
Yeah.
you've spent the time on it. So the gatekeeping thing is, but it does, as I said, it does exist with this whole tradies thing, this hardcore trade.
Yeah.
Either your hardcore trade or your hardcore solo self found,
Well,
and that already exists. I mean, that I've seen the back and forth of that kicks off in global chat. I was like, Jesus, I didn't even know this
yeah,
existed.
I think we should move this conversation to later because we have a segment later. What does hardcore mean to you? I think this is a better. We should keep discussing it there because then we can
Yeah.
actually talk about what hardcore means and so on. Um, So I would the next thing I think we should do is moving away from what is cheating, and actually talk a little bit about logout and the reality in the
Mm.
game, and actually what is the stance of GGG for that. Because a lot of people are just saying like this is cheating, this is not cheating, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But what is actually the truth here? And so to see if logging out is cheating, it should fulfill the criteria for cheating. And for that, I have some, of course, I have prepared
You
some
have
more interesting things
this.
for
This.
you
This.
guys.
This is led by you today, and I'm enjoying this.
Yes.
So I
First
don't
of
have to do it.
all, I would like to play another video. I don't know if, I mean, you have the
Oh,
link.
what the Chris Wilson one?
It's a Chris Wilson video, yeah. A lot of people know that. Maybe someone hasn't seen it yet. It's very old. Most of these informations are very old because, as far as I am aware, GGG has not made any recent, like the last 6 years or something, statements in forums and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they think they have done it 12 years ago and it's done. Like, we don't need to make more statements. You
Okay.
guys know what are the facts. So most of the things I will bring up are kind of old. I
Yep.
know that. And if they are outdated because GGG's stance has changed, please give me sources for that. And I'm happily to adjust my opinion. But first, I would like to show people an interview from Chris Wilson
Yep.
from like 10 years ago with Zizaran or
Oh,
something,
it's the
like super
Zazarian
old.
one. Oh God,
Yes, it
that
is a
one.
Zizaran one.
Do you want to send me the link? Because I'll switch myself back into my normal streaming
Yes.
because I don't
Let
have it set up
me
here. And then my chat can see
send you
it.
the link on here. Does it
It's
work?
not true what they say about you. God, Zazarian's so young on that. He looks so young. That's pre-parenthood. That's
Yes, of
pre-kids.
course.
Um,
This video is like 8 years old.
all right, I
It's
gotta
8 years old.
chat. You're gonna lose Twinson, so we're gonna move back to my normal streaming. So,
Bye.
bye.
Okay. And as for playing, something I'm very curious with, do you log out when you play?
Sorry, could you repeat? I missed the question.
Do you log out when you play? Like, say your character's about to die, but you know you can save it by logging out.
So the answer is yes, but this league I haven't needed to yet, and that's partly because I'm playing an insanely tanky character where, you know, if I'm finding there's spikes of damage, then I can politely walk away and open a portal. But I absolutely will log out if I see my life drop to 30%. It's just that that hasn't happened so far this league. And this is an intentional thing where there are two ways you can balance the game. The first way is where you actually get damage swings that are meaningful, and in that case, you could be killed in a couple of seconds, and so logging out is a way of avoiding that. Or you can say, look, guys, logging out's cheesy, so we're adding like a 5-second period where if you try to log out, you're still in the game while taking damage for 5 seconds. And the game would be 100% different end to end if that was the case. Like that will never happen to Path of Exile because of the amount of work required. It would mean so much of a rebalance. We'd be sent back to the Dark Ages, and you know, the entire hardcore community who may be complaining about logouts would still quit when that change is made. So anyway, it is very, like, put it this way. I was playing recently when I was getting rolling power outages at my house, right? Like there was some bad storm despite it being summer. And I really wanted to hit 88, like I was, 6% away from the level. So I have to gain 6% of the exp, knowing that 5 times in the last hour my power has gone out. When the power goes out, I'm going to be in game for 6 seconds, exposed to whatever I'm fighting, right? So I'm trying to level a maps knowing that I have to tank 6 seconds of not being able to actively leech or cast Enduring Cry or anything in order to get out of combat. And that was a crazy experience. I had to be so careful, and I went on low tier maps and they were dangerous. So I abandoned 5 or 6 maps, and I eventually got the experience. And it took like several hours, and there weren't any power outages during that time, but it was a horrific, scary experience. And every moment of Path of Exile would be like that if, upon being disconnected and choosing to log out, like there's nothing you can do about it, you're taking 5 or 6 seconds of damage.
Right.
Means that you will lose characters in a way that just feels unfair. And so, anyway, enough ranting. Lockouts is a part of the way the game works, and it's it's easy to do. You press Alt F4, or you exit a character screen, or whatever your preferred method is.
That's the thing about noob. Hey, back up.
We will make a technically better solution next time, guys. No worries. I think you could all hear that. It's just a statement from Chris. I mean, yeah, I understand it's 8 years ago.
Yep.
and it's the closest we have from GGG.
Hmm.
I have some more in a moment, but one of the closest statements from GGG talking about is logout actually fine? And Chris says yes, he would even do that himself. And I have some more little quotes
Hmm.
in my little PowerPoint representation.
Oh, you probably PowerPointed this.
Yeah, on the next page of the
Yeah.
PowerPoint. So there's a statement on Reddit from Chris 12 years ago.
Yep.
Where he says macros that open the menu and click one of the logout options are allowed. Don't use the character selection screen on it in emergency slow because it can take a while. It's like an area change. Alt F4 is the fastest way out. Immediately it sends the lol I'm out packet.
Okay.
This was in a Reddit discussion about, are we allowed to log out basically? Are we allowed to use a macro to leave the game, to open the logout screen and then click a logout
Mhm.
button and so on? And he said, yeah, basically you are allowed to do that. And I have another post from Yaren from GGG. I don't know if this person still works at GGG. It's also like from 214.
Mhm.
And it was a post about if it's allowed to use a macro that does multiple steps. Like nowadays, macros actually do multiple
Yeah,
steps
I understand that.
because they close the game, they close TCP ports and everything. And what he writes, first he actually in the post, I don't have the whole post here, but first in the post he writes, no, it's not allowed. And then later he writes, hey there, apologies. Chris has confirmed that the /OOS, I think this is the sync command from back then, nowadays no longer used, and logout character selection screen macros are current exceptions to the multiple action rule. The macros suggested by the OP are allowed.
Why is that?
This is sorry.
Why is that?
Why is what?
Why is that macro? So let's say all macros
because
are not allowed to be used,
yeah,
but that one is. Why?
Because GGG's terms of service states that macros that do multiple steps are not allowed. Like if you press a button and, for example, it use all your flasks after one each another, not allowed.
So
people
okay.
ask, okay, are we allowed to log out, but are we allowed to do multiple steps for logging out?
Yeah, which
Like,
is I think
can we
there's
do
2 or 3.
if you it depends. If you, for example, if you instead of Alt F4 you want to have it on one button, in theory Alt F4 is 2 steps, right? Pressing 2 buttons. And if you put it on one button, it would be a multiple action thingy. But GGG said it's fine. Like for this purpose, it's fine. Like you can basically close your game with one button.
Okay.
And yeah,
why?
Let me.
Why do you want to why do you want to log out super quick?
Well, because the game will immediately disconnect you if you log out from the servers.
Okay. So why would you want to do that? I mean, just create a town portal, clear the mobs, and then log out, go back to your town, log out there, or just log out?
Usually, well, there are several reasons to do that. One is, of course, if you are in a very dangerous situation that you maybe misjudged, like you're about to die, right? That's one of the main reasons for log out. Another reasons are you're in a situation you cannot progress. There used to be monsters, for example, that you cannot beat. So you can basically you cannot beat because they're immune against your damage. So
you get
you can log out. You can also you can portal out, of course, also another way. The additional of closing this, what people talk about TCP sockets. I'm not a technical guy, but the additional thingy of closing TCP sockets is not like in my opinion, not a unfair feature. It's basically just to make absolutely sure that you're disconnected, because we all know these games or programs where you press Alt F4 and the server still says you're on it because Windows still have a connection open or something.
Mhm.
And this can happen also in PoE if you just Alt F4. Usually the game is closed, all your connections are closed. The server says you're gone,
Mhm.
and closing the TCP sockets will just make extra sure that the server knows you're gone. It's not like an additional thing. It's just making like it more safe and more
So,
secure.
so you can do an
Um,
Alt F. You can do a macro log while you're in your hideout, correct? And it will close everything. Or
yeah,
you can do it in
yeah.
game if you're on a
You
map.
could also, you can, yeah,
Mhm.
and you can also, I mean, you could in theory use Alt F4. That will work in 99.9% of the cases.
Yep.
And using the logout macro, what people use, which also closes TCP sockets, is just a little bit safer. For the one case where Windows is basically saying, no, I have still a connection to the server. And the server's like, oh, there's still some connection. I keep you in the game. Like I keep your character on the server in the game.
Okay.
From my understanding. If I'm wrong, please, you
No,
can
because I've never
educate me, guys.
I've never used a macro, so
Yeah.
I can't testify to any of that. So
Yeah, the macro is either doing. I think the different ones out there. It's
Mhm.
basically either killing your PoE, or what it actually nowadays does is just closing these TCP sockets, and you're immediately getting snapped back to the character selection screen.
yeah,
That happens if you have a disconnect to the server. Like for example, if there's a new season coming up and there's server problems, you always
Mhm.
get kicked back to the character selection, right? This is basically what the macro is doing. It's like closing your connection to the server and you're getting kicked back because the most safe way to make sure you are actually gone.
yeah.
And this falls into, this is why people ask, like, are we allowed to do multiple steps? Because in theory, this is multiple steps, it seems. I don't know about the coding and everything, but I guess closing multiple TCP sockets is multiple steps. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways.
Do you know that video that you were playing? I was watching
Yeah.
chat. Oh, chat was flaring up with unethical. Chris Wilson logs out. Unethical. There's quite a lot of that going on in that chat. It was quite interesting to get a flashback to.
Oh, in the chat from Zizaran.
Yeah, from Zizaran. I was
okay.
watching it.
I didn't read that.
Well, I was
because
curious.
people already back then had very, very strong opinions about this topic. Like very strong opinions about this topic.
But that's why I made my video, because I wanted to try and bridge that gap to say that hardcore is
Yeah.
whatever you want to make it, and no one should impress their views or opinions on others to make them feel like shit while they're trying to just play a game. They play it however they want, and I'm a very firm believer on that. But that doesn't mean that I don't have my own views on it, which I've kept my cards very close to my chest across all this.
Okay. So I wanted to show this because we are
Yep.
now can you link me that video when you get a
Yeah.
chance? Yeah, I think you can have the link. I think Theo can just post the link
I'll get it to him now.
in the chat. If you want to have that.
Yeah, I've got it.
If you want
No.
coaching, I can also give you the links to these threads in the GGG forum where the screenshots are from.
Do you know Chris Wilson on that video? God, I don't know whether to say this. This is. I don't agree with what he said, but that's his own view. That's why, because there's a little bit more on that. I was actually listening in my chat whether he was talking about he was very close to leveling. He needed that last bit of XP. He's had power outages all night, and
Yes.
he was and that's why he would log out just before he had any. I get that. At the same time, the servers now on PoE2 are completely different than what they were 12 years ago. I have not ripped one logout.
Actually, disconnect. Me neither.
One disconnect. Sorry, not logout.
Yeah.
Disconnect.
Yeah.
In a year,
and
not one death by
I
lag.
agree. If GGG would announce that this is the only purpose why it works, and they would be every log out during combat is forbidden, people would stop using it. At least everybody who's streaming.
Crouchin said there was no pause back then. He's an experienced PoE player.
Yeah, they had no pause, right? Yeah. But people nowadays still use logout. Often, I myself use just pause
I know.
and then leave.
Yeah.
it's like pause and logging out is basically the same as logout macro, besides in fights against bosses where you cannot pause.
No, you can't pause. You can log out, but you have to be
Yeah.
quick with it
Yeah.
because you'll take damage still. I saw that in Lepav, bless him, on Arbiter. Because I thought I logged out quick enough, and it was like, no, you didn't, mate. He still got you. But I'm lightened
Everton
your
up.
mood, Zio. Everton are 2-1 up. I love you, Excel. He's now my
Okay.
favorite German. Go on, him.
So,
By the way, I don't believe Chris Wilson. I'm gonna say it. I don't believe.
okay.
I don't believe him. Do you know what? That's the most diplomatic answer I have ever seen out of anybody. Because honestly, reading that chat, and they were flat. This is my opinion. I am not right. I am not wrong. And I've bottled this up for weeks now. Because when you sent me that, I looked at it and I thought, do you know what? That is a man that is being as diplomatic as possible to make sure that there's no toxicity in the community. Because when I was, honestly, you watch that chat, it was flaring up with unethical, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's cheating. So what I'm trying to say is, there's a perspective on this. I'm not Chris Wilson. Okay. I can't question whether, well, I am questioning it because I'm cynical here. But I do look at that and think, what happened? Let's do an alternate universe. What happened if Chris Wilson turned around and went, yeah, it is cheating. You're playing hardcore and you've got one life and da 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 da. Do you know how much?
I don't think.
Do you know? But starting to rewind this because we've started on this. The definition of cheating, we've already agreed that it is an attack on people's integrity. And that's a horrible thing. Nobody likes to be questioned. I hate it. Anybody who questions my integrity, I take it as a personal attack. So let's get ready to fight. So I totally understand that. But just imagine if Chris Wilson turned around, not on a gaming thing, because you can log out any time you want. You've got the power to do whatever you want. If you need to log off to go and get the kids from school, you do that. If you need to log off to help your wife, or you just like, the game's crap today, I just want to log out, you can do that. Putting restrictions on players when they can log out is a bad thing. And I'm an advocate of not having any sort of restriction. They've already done it with pausing, that the players have it in their power to actually turn the pausing off. But doing it with logouts, I don't think it's a good idea, because you're then almost like you're punishing the players that they have to play a certain play style, which I don't agree with. You play with what you want to play. But it would be interesting if Chris Wilson, of 12 years ago, actually turned around and said, let's say he was a cheater person, on the comments, and he turned around and said, it's cheating. How would the PoE community then react to GGG turn around and say it would be toxicity and a complete...
Yeah.
And that's not good for a game. That's not healthy for a game to have that level of toxicity. You look at League of Legends or WoW players or whatever. I'm throwing out brushes now, I'm going to get hated. But you get what I mean. I just think it was a very diplomatic answer to say, look, we are going to bless this, because if we bless this, this will stop the argument. It will stop the toxicity, and we'll have a healthy community where we can get new players in, which is the most important thing. But that's how I read it. I was listening to it just going,
Yeah.
I don't know whether I believe him.
I have to rebuttal on that. First, there's still toxicity, like
massive.
now, just in another way. So whatever he says, there will be toxicity. So I don't think there's any, like, he doesn't need to be like, okay, how do I get the most little toxicity? And in the end, there's two things. One thing he said and he stated, and the other things that you just said is like, it's more like, what happened if I think this way, but that's not what he said. That's
no,
for
he
me.
didn't. He didn't say that. You're right. And I want to
for
say
me,
now,
I
he did not say that it is. He said his piece, which is his words, and that's what his position was. I'm being a little cynical just through old age now, seeing a lot of people around the world. It just doesn't sit right with me a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's Chris Wilson. He at the time, GGG, God person. So That is fine, and that's the most important thing. Is what GG says exactly. It's not me. It's not me, but I'm allowed to say that I was like,
Yeah, sure.
I felt that was the best diplomatic way to be able to stop any discourse in the community if he did feel like that. But if he doesn't, that's fine. But I was a bit,
I mean, it would be great if he comes up now also that he's no longer working with GGG and says like, hey, what I said 12 years ago is absolutely what I meant, or
it
it's
probably
complete
is.
bullshit. It
No,
would be
I
great
think it is.
of course that would be great,
Mm.
but it's just for me, it's just the question of that's what he said. He
Yeah.
never changed this opinion in any way. He actually even confirmed this statement with his posts on
It,
Reddit and posts on this forum.
if I was in
So
his position, I would have said the exact same thing. Because we've already agreed it can be community dividing and splitting. And by the way, I'll keep saying this because my chat's here as well. I made that video to bring community together to say, telling people cheating is not cool. It's not right. It's not the way. You know, as you said, we got to be opening to welcome new hardcore players and to stamp out this whole like aggressiveness with regarding that word. But for me, at the same time, I do look at that statement. I'm just a little bit cynical, but it's not my opinion that matters. It's his, which is true.
The first thing I want, the first thing I wanted to try to answer with this is, I wrote down 4 things. Like, are we breaking the rules here? And in my opinion, actually, I don't think it's my opinion. I think, it is just how the game works. Nobody is breaking any rules by logging out. There's no rule against doing it at any point. There's no rule that states it can only be used for emergencies. And the developer themselves said it's fine to log out. So for me, from it's a bit of my opinion and a bit fact. From my opinion is that everybody who claims that this is somehow breaking the rules of the game, or if they say breaking the rules of hardcore, we come to that later. But breaking the rules of the game is basically impossible. This can never break the rules of the game because it is part of the game, and the developer stated that it can be used. So for our definition of what is cheating, basically.
Yeah. But here we go. Do you want to shall I give my take on the whole logout thing? Because there is a word in that definition that does actually come up.
We will come to that. You probably mean unfair, right?
I'm not saying
you mean unfair?
We
come to that later.
Yeah, we do.
I'm going to do
you got
all
more
the check
structure.
marks.
Oh, you got the check marks.
Of course. I sent you these.
I haven't read
it. Well, I sent it to you.
Okay.
The first one, the most important one for me, actually the most important one for definition of cheating is: do you break rules or not? Because everything else, in my opinion, is still matters, but is underlaying under this. So do we break rules? If the answer would be yes, we're actually breaking rules and they set, then we have a big problem. But we are not breaking any rules. We are playing, in my opinion, inside the system that they developed and they allow people to use.
Yeah. 100%
and
agree
now
with
we're
that.
coming to the next point. That is behaving dishonest or unfairly.
Yeah. Say that again, sorry.
And dishonest or unfairly.
Oh, you go on then. You go.
And these are two things. Maybe first we go for dishonest and then we come to unfairly.
Yeah.
Behaving dishonest is a little bit of like, or dishonest / deceptive, right? Because later I also have the point deceptive. I don't think that a person logging out is dishonest or deceptive towards anyone or anything. It's especially when you're a streamer and you're doing it, people see it, right? People are like, and also people clearly communicated like, oh, this is too dangerous. I log out. I prepare my character a little bit different. I need to change some stats. I need more fire resistance. Let's log in and try again. I think that most people who are where you can actually check it, right? If somebody plays at home and he's like, log out, I will tell nobody. Hopefully nobody noticed that. But on streamers, you never see that I think it's also impossible to hide, right? But I don't think people are dishonest or deceptive about this.
Mm. Well, you're gonna hate me what I'm about to say. Um,
Sure.
I'm trying to work. I'm trying to write to Blaze say the word controversial, but he gets it. I've said the word. I can't spell. I'm dyslexic. That's true. Everything you've just said is true, but I'm gonna say, but to yourself, because those we're talking about outward or
Yeah.
external or intrinsic. They're the word. Is it intrinsic? I'm trying to sound clever, but yes, those are to other people. But the question is, yeah, but to
To yourself,
yourself.
yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
answering that with a yes or no, but I'm proposing the next, the thought debate.
I like this that you bring this up, and
I do too.
if people are aware, I'm not sure if everybody here is aware. We had a few weeks ago an unfortunate death of Xeo's character.
My character.
He locked out.
I did
and
log
then
out.
killed him, and then killed himself.
I did kill
And
myself.
yeah, and I think this goes into this deceptive part, because if you had locked out and not killed yourself, your lockout in your world might actually be cheating. In your world, yes, because
Yes.
you are deceptive or dishonest towards other
Myself.
people, your viewers, your
Oh, and my
stream,
viewers. Yeah.
and yourself, like
Mm.
your community and yourself. So I understand, and I would agree in this point, if this is actually a point you want to make. Yeah, maybe I'm just talking bullshit.
No,
But
you're
in
not.
this
No.
situation,
It's valid.
in this situation, I can see when if you don't delete your character, people call you a cheater
Mhm.
because you're breaking the rules you set in your own world. You're breaking your own rules. You're behaving dishonest. You're behaving deceptive.
Mm.
Deceptive because you were always I never log out. Like people who log out, they should not do this, blah blah blah. But when it actually happens, you do not follow. If you
Was the
do not
word
follow, as I
hypocrite?
said, Theo did follow through.
I
He's
did
a
kill
very
myself.
honorable
Yeah.
person.
30
He killed
seconds
himself.
later. Yeah.
It's fine. Very honorable. But I can see where this comes into play if you actually set the parameters for your hardcore, and we come to this later, right?
Yeah.
In this way, and then yes, it becomes deceptive if you log out.
I got called a
And
special moron on YouTube on Exiled again because that clip went on there. I got called. Is that AnotherXeo special or something? And it got quoted.
yeah,
There was a lot of I had to post up. Actually, they were really nice, Exiled again, because they pinned the comment. Because I was like, whoa, 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 let me put some context to this. Because they just saw me log out, go, oh no, what have I done? Log back in 30 seconds later, and then just sat there and watched my character get ripped to shreds at level 92. So it was it was my first hardcore run on PoE 1. Gotta brag about that. But no, but yeah, there was a few is that guy absolutely a dickhead or something? I was like, no, it's just, I don't do logouts. But there we go. But sorry, continued. But yeah, intrinsic.
No.
Because that definition
I
that
understand.
also
in
means
this.
Well, all of it is to yourself as well. It doesn't mean to, only externally to other people.
Yeah, if you make, even if you do not have an audience, if you play just for yourself, you're not a streamer, and you're like, I will never log out because that's stupid, and then you at some point do log out, you actually break quasi this part as a definition, and you're deceptive to yourself, or you're
You cheated
dishonest to
yourself.
yourself. You cheated yourself, basically. And then I would actually agree that in this context, this can be called cheating, and you're basically a cheater. Nobody will care because nobody knows you, but you're a cheater for yourself.
Do you know,
we're
we're getting somewhere, and I think this will be quite nice towards the end of this podcast, because I know we're going to try and summarize it, but I'm making mental notes. But yeah, that's quite an interesting exploration there. Continue at what s'il vous plaît. That's my bit of French.
Yeah, so we have two more things. One more is actually Yeah, like one more point would be hurting another person. Like, do you gain something over another person that you're taking away from another person? We're coming to the unfair part last. But first, like gaining something over another person or gaining something from another person that you do not deserve or something like that. Um,
Do
in
you?
in SSF, that's basically impossible. I could only see this in like softcore trade or hardcore trade. Actually, even softcore trade in a very
You
theoretic
pause. You can't see that in
environment.
SSF.
No. How can
I
how do I
I
take away something from someone else?
I have something on that. It's
On a
perspective.
race, maybe?
Yeah, it's on a
A
perspective.
race could be. A
Yeah.
race could be, yeah, I could see on a race, maybe, yeah.
Right. Can
But
I
everybody
can
can
I
use it.
expand on this one? Because
Yeah,
I've given
yeah,
this a
sure.
lot of
Let's
thought.
go.
I am a no
Yeah.
logout gamer. I don't log out besides the one in PoE because Sale told me
Yes.
to. And I listened to chat. I'm joking. It was still my responsibility. But I've actually thought about this. Does it hurt other people? That's right. It blames Sale. See, Lolas is here to support me. Right. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to go straight to the point. There is a very sprinkle, green hands on the screen. There is a sprinkle of potentially, but I don't think it's enough to get butthurt over it. So for me, for example, I'm a no logout gamer. Okay. There are top streamers. Let's go with Ben, Sarge2. Sarge2 in 0.5, he pushed hard to get to 100. I think he was trying to raise car.
2.4.
2.4. What do you mean 2.4? He did it
You said
in
0.5.
Oh,
There's no
0.4.
0.5 yet.
Sorry, 0.4. I got 0.5 on the brain. In this league, here we go. He tried to push very, very hard. He actually ripped off stream. He said he was at his friend's house, a family gathering, and he took his laptop and he ripped there. But the point being is he does logouts, okay? But he's trying to push to get to 100, top of the leaderboard. Now, there is no financial benefit insofar as hitting number one on SSF. GGD doesn't give prizes out. It's not like the gauntlet, so you're not getting a financial gain. But, and I'm now being very anal retentive and on a technical standpoint, that you could say that, and I will shut this off quite easily, you could say that a streamer or even not a streamer, you could say just a normal person, but I'm more talking about streamers. The ones that do the racing, why are they doing it? They're doing it to gain aura or to get notability, to be able to be recognized in the community. For instance, Ben. Ben is one of the top streamers. You talk about Ben, everybody knows about Ben. Why is Ben so good? Because he's always at the top. He always wins the gauntlet. So what I'm trying to say is that then brings, obviously, viewers or player base or whatever it is. You get some sort of prestige. And with that prestige, then obviously you get rewards, and whether that's through financial gain or assets or merchandise or time, it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is that because I have a self-imposed rule, because it's my rule that I don't log out, that's my choice. So if I wanted to race and get to the top, then I would log out. So I would try and protect my character and my level because I'm in that race. Personally, I don't think it's important, and it's not important because there's no financial gain. But when you say not hurting anybody, but because it's no written rule, and you're right, there is no rule about logging out, that's me handicapping myself. So that's my problem and my issue. I've chosen to do that. But logging out, because there is no laws, then this is my own fault to a degree. So I finished 71 on the leaderboard this year, or this league. I finished 71st. So, I'm all the way down there. But again, that's my own pause. But you get what I'm saying, that there is a potential that it can affect other people. But there's, coming back to it, there's no rules. So, I mean, if I took the same stance and race, then I could become number one and then, do a video. I hit number one, people are there, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think on a micro. Can you get what I'm saying? On a micro scale.
Yeah, I think the most important part, we just hear it, is you guys heard it all. Xeo will use lockout in a race.
If I
That's what
was
we
racing, no, no,
the
no, no.
the
Yeah,
most important
no,
part we just
no.
thrown
I
out.
love what you just said there. I love it. If I wanted to race, see, I'm challenging myself. So all my logouts, I
Yeah,
have that for sure. All my challenge that my channel does is no logouts. That's my thing. That's my challenge. That's how I want to play the game. If there was a time I thought, do you know what? I'm going to get rid of my kids. I'm going to get rid of my wife, and I'm going to become a full-time streamer. I'm now going to race to get to number one. I would log out every day because it's the only way
yeah.
I can do it, because I can't start again, because starting again will put me days back. So if I was trying to race to be number one, but that's not my challenge or goal. It's me doing what I feel is an Iron Man challenge, but that's an interpretation. It's the only way I can put it into language. That's why I always, so I don't get butthurt about, oh well, I'm not hitting one, so I'm not getting visibility or notoriety or anything, because I'm handicapping myself. But it's about how I feel inside. I was so happy hitting 100 without logging out. I was so joyed. I achieved something. That achievement to yourself means more than hitting number one in hardcore, because I set a goal and a target and I achieved that, because I wasn't competing against others. I was competing against myself.
No, in HCSF, you set your own goals and you compete to get
Hence,
those,
yeah, and
which is
that
the healthy way to play in as a HCS. In my
100%. And
opinion,
now
you
we're
don't compare yourself with other people.
exactly, and
Should
that's
do
why
that.
we're recircling back to my video of you. It's your game. You set your rules. You set your
Yeah,
terms.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to completely dismiss this point and say like no.
Oh, we're nearly 2
From
hours.
yeah, for me it is a little bit because as I said, the breaking rule point is on top, and everything under this might not matter so much because, as you said, and because you're not breaking any rules
You're
by
not
using
breaking any
it.
rules. 100%. I
Yeah,
agree with you. Yeah.
it's a little bit like one person gets an advantage by using a flask, and if the other doesn't do it, they don't get the advantage. So if we see logout as a normal mechanic that can be used, then basically this person is not using the mechanic. And I you could make this argument of getting more viewers because you survive for a life flask, for example, right? You could say, okay, a person is using a life flask not to die, so they will stay more alive, be more on top of the leaderboard, and maybe have more viewers than the people who do not use that. And for some people, it might completely sounds ridiculous. Life flask is not a logout, but in terms of game mechanics, if you see logout as a game mechanic, it is interchangeable with every other game mechanic to stay alive.
Yeah. Well,
from
that's
that
that's the
perspective.
thing. But it comes back to the Luis Suarez example. He did whatever
Now he's
he
cheating.
thought. No, 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 no. But forget about it. But that's perspective. Forget about that bit. But he did what if he could, what was in his power, and it was in his power to handball. It's in the power of the player to log out before they get smashed up by the monsters. If you get surrounded, that's probably the biggest log out. It's not really with bosses and stuff. Well, some of them, if it's not going too good, they're like, I'm out of here, and they log out.
Now, most of the time you log out in maps, in my
In maps,
opinion, from my
because
experience,
you get bad
because
positioning or something like that,
it's
and
a
then yeah.
preparation problem. You can far easier prepare for bosses, pinnacle bosses, uber bosses, because you can gauge how strong they are, and they do not change in strengths. But you cannot do this for a lot of map mechanics. You might
No.
completely be in an overwhelming situation.
Yeah,
in a
because
map.
you get various, you get multiple.
Yeah, you get
The
a lot
boss,
of various
yeah,
things.
the boss is a
Suddenly,
mechanic,
monsters have like
different
stun. The map
stats.
has
Yeah,
stun, and
yeah.
1,000 mechanics on top of each other. Like,
But
yeah,
coming back to it,
that's
that's
true.
what I'm saying. So some would log out because they're using whatever they can to survive, and that's the whole
Yes.
point of hardcore, is to survive. So logging out, I can see that, and this is
Yeah.
what I said in my video. I can see that.
yeah, we will come to this in the next point after we talk about being unfair, and the next point where what is hardcore for you and for me, and it really matters the definition. Like everybody defines what hardcore mode actually means for them a bit
Yeah.
differently, and we can go over that.
Mm.
Okay, so let's just pick up the last point I have here. Is like basically, is it unfair? Like, is it?
100%. No, but
I
no,
knew you
but
would say that.
but
Can you
that's
elaborate on
that
that?
bit. I'll elaborate because it's in my video, and I
Yeah,
gave my
yeah,
take. I believe it's
yeah,
unfair. I
yeah.
don't
Can
think
you
it's
can you
fair
just
at all.
in
Mm.
three sentence have a short overview for those who did not saw the video?
Well, basically, I say it's unfair. No, the reason why, no, the reason being is if I'm playing a game, it comes back to it's like if you're playing football, you want a fair match. If you play a game of chess, you want
Yeah.
a fair game. If you play tennis, you want a fair game. Whatever game, tiddlywinks, noughts and crosses, whatever it is, you want a fair game. So I think the human spirit of competition always want to go in any game they play, whether it's a sports or a board game or a computer game, they want to go that they're going to have a fair game, that the game is going to be fair to them, as well as, well, hopefully the player's going to be fair to the game. You play for whatever lays in front of you. So I surmised it with basically simply as this: the monsters can't log out, but I can. So that's unfair
So
for me. So that means I have an
yeah,
advantage over the monsters. So I'm
have you,
fighting, and I'll elaborate on this. I'm in the fantasy. Here we go, because we like to use the word power fantasies. I want to be a witch. I want to be a paladin. I want to be this. But what do I mean? It triggers me how Twinson is not
it's
censored.
fine.
Oh, I told you this. I
I
told you
fixed
this will
it.
come up.
I fixed it.
But what I'm saying is that what I was going to say, yeah, the power fantasy. I play games for escapism. So if I wanted to be marooned on a desert island and survive for 30 days, that is what I want to do. So I want that power fantasy. How does it feel like if I actually really had only one life, only one blade on a desert island, and I have to survive for 30 days? That's hardcore. The Bear Grylls, that type of the excitement, the adrenaline, you can't just then sort of magically teleport yourself off the island when it's not convenient. So for me, the monsters can't do that. They can't log out. So when I'm locked into a battle, because that's the power fantasy, I'm locked into a battle, I'm slashing hordes of monsters and stuff. If I make a mistake because I've not prepared, or my build's not right, or I tactically put myself in a bad position, which I've done plenty of times on strong boxes this season, that is how the cookie crumbles. That is the end result to my journey. I rip. Quite simple as that. So when I look at it, I find it unfair that I can then remove myself out of that situation by using something I would consider an outside mechanic as an administration, is an admin. Logging out is admin. Changing your, I don't know, your graphic settings, to me, that's admin or whatever. It's like an administration task. Probably the worst wording, but it's the best way I could say it. It's not an actual casting a spell. It's not doing a dodge roll. It's not using a movement skill. It's not using your ultimate ability, whatever it is, or using your tactical play or positioning. It's I'm going to remove myself out of this situation. So for me, I find that unfair because I'm trying to play a game for me, which is the obviously the odds are stacked against you because because you've only got one life. You've already made it more difficult. And anybody that plays hardcore, salute to them straight away because it's one life. It doesn't matter if they log off. Something's always going to kill you in hardcore. We all agree with that in
Yeah.
hardcore. There's something that will rip you. You won't be able to always log out. There is something that's going to get you, because if you did, then you would have log out. I wouldn't say log out players. I don't like using that term, but you'll have log out players that are still alive at 100, but something has got them and they had no chance to log out because they popped, they've gone. But finishing on it, I think it is unfair. And that comes into
Mm.
the definition of the Oxford Dictionary of cheating. And that's where I can see where people, and that's where I can see people using the word cheating, because if unfair falls under the definition in the Oxford Dictionary as cheating, there is a potential case
Mm.
to say, I don't like the word personally. I think it's very heavily questioning on people's ethics and morality. I don't like that. There's too much going on in the world as we speak. But if unfair does fall in that definition, and for me, I feel it's unfair based on that example, I can remove myself out of the battle, but the monsters can't. That for me is unfair.
Mm. So I can understand that. Also, I don't think
It's
it
my
matters
truth,
if
by
it's
the way. I'm not right, by the
a
way.
big point or small point. I can see why people try to make a case based on this. First of all, for me, it's a little bit. Do you also think it's unfair if you set a town portal and run away? I mean, have you ever thought about that? Like, when I see you dying, I often think like, okay, you don't want to log out, but why you're not just setting a town portal and leave? Are you
Because
also
you
not doing
still
that,
get
or
knocked, you still get attacked. There's all right, statistically, and I have no stats on that, but this is called animal survival instincts or gamer instincts. But I've right, here we go. I hate to say this. I sound elitist now. Well, check this out. But I have 3,000 hours in no logout gaming for a year. You are more, and Nug Run only, Nug, and he actually sent me a Twitch clip last week that he survived because he had an instant flask and he survived. He nearly got absolutely murdered, but he managed to survive and get out of it. I think you're more and I've noticed this. I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but this is my experience kicking in. Sometimes if you actually play it out, your chances of survival is better if you
yes,
pause and
I
deliberate.
agree.
Unless you pause and log yourself out, that's fine.
Well, if you
One
pause, you
set of,
should log out.
yeah.
Like,
As
that's
soon as,
like, if you
I think the
that's what a
ones
lot
that
of
make a
people.
mistake is pause and then they think they can. Your reaction times and everything then becomes instantly slower. So, from my experience, I felt that I've actually survived more than I've actually ripped. But it's that like if you play it out through, sometimes you actually end up surviving than you wouldn't think you would. But then my video explains it about fight or flight. Nobody wants to rip. It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna rip. Pop. And I understand that.
Absolutely, I think finding the situation where planting a portal would be
Oh, the portal thing.
we
Yeah,
need
yeah. Sorry, you're
or
right.
it
Sorry,
would.
I didn't answer that. The portal thing is because I think if you try and do a portal, you're gonna die. Because if you're surrounded and you're taking multiple hits, trying to put a
Yeah, but
portal up is better that you try and fight
I
out of it than put a portal up.
I understand that, but
Only
would
get
you be against
interrupted.
that? I don't know.
I think you do.
I don't set portals. I actually do, but I never set portals in
You
combat.
you
Like, I
you
only
can
set them
take
out of combat.
damage. You can take damage because there's
Yes,
that little
yes, I
lag.
know, but I'm not sure how long it takes and everything,
No,
so
but there
I
is a
just
little
set combats
lag.
out of combat.
Yeah, there is a transition lag sometimes because I have
You
done
can
it a
also
few
set
times.
portals before the combat. Like, if you do a boss, and some boss arenas allow portals,
On
right? You can
PoE
set a
2.
portal in some boss arenas, yeah, right? Map bosses, I think. I'm
Never
not
heard of
like map
that.
bosses are just there, right? You can set the portal out.
I don't think you can.
Like the
I don't
the
think you
the
can.
the
It
not
comes up with a
the not
message saying
portal
you
the
can't
not
portal and you have to move
really?
out. Yeah.
I never tried. I think you can portal out in normal boss fights. You cannot portal out in I think the pinnacle fights.
Oh, and the pinnacle ones you can't. Okay.
Yeah, I think you
I
can
know some
if you
areas you
want.
can't, but I've never tried to portal out, so that's why I have no experience in that crouching.
Yeah, but you can
But in
in some
PoE
combats
2,
you
can you
can
do that
plant
in
them.
crouch?
You can plant them before the fight.
You saying
In
PoE
PoE
1 or
1, you
2?
can definitely in PoE 1 you can plant them before the fight
Okay,
in
yeah,
a
I
bunch
bow
of
to your
combats.
experience on that. PoE 2, I know there's certain zones that you can't portal out of because it will say portal can't out of this area. You have to move out a little bit.
The thing is, because I am
Yeah.
logging out, I don't need it. Like, I just pause and leave. If
Okay.
like I don't need a portal. But in theory, if I would play without logout, I would look into playing with portal.
You still
if
need to
like we
get to the
had for
portal.
yeah, but it's still safer than just dying.
No, 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 no.
Like
I understand
if
that.
you're
No, no.
right, it's if you're just dying, and you just for example, what can happen is
Mm.
that you might die in a fight to an effect like bleed or ignite, and you just see your life drop, drop, drop,
Yep, yep,
drop, and
yep.
you don't have an option against that, and you can just jump in your portal and leave, right?
That's great. I've done that a few times when I've done down to 5 HP and I was fighting an abyss
Why?
undead.
Are you running away from the monsters?
Yeah, I ran away, then created a
That's unfair.
portal. Why is that unfair? Oh,
You're
I
running away
love
from the
this.
monster. The monsters cannot run away from you. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, but they
They
can
don't have a
chase
portal
me.
to the city.
But they can chase
They
me.
cannot chase you through the portal.
No, but they can chase me up to the portal. And when you've got 5
Yeah, and
HP
that's
and
it.
ran
And
out a
then
health
then
flask.
they stand there and they're like, "Where he just left. He's gone.
No,
Why
but
is he
that
running
for
away
me
from us?"
is not logging out because you've had to do a
Ah,
load of work. How's that logging out using a town portal? That's
sorry, what?
how is that logging out using a town
Well,
portal?
you no, it's not the same as logging out, but it's
No.
fleeing from the enemies.
Yeah, but you're
But
allowed
the
to
enemies can't
retreat.
do
Yeah,
that.
but the word retreat. So log out
Yeah,
in
I just
theory is tactical
log out is just
retreating.
another retreat.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
just another way to get
But
away.
but that's an admin thing. But I would say a portal on a map, you still have casting time. It's not instant.
Sure. It's not the same, I understand. I
Mm.
understand that. I just wanted to point out that there's a mechanic in the game that is also just making you run away from the mobs, and the
Mm.
mobs cannot follow you. That's already part of the game. It's slower, I agree, and maybe that's enough to justify that. To be like, yeah, you
Yeah.
pay a bigger price. Like,
There's a
it's
bigger
slower, you have
price
to
and a
pass this
cost, and there's
down.
still a risk.
Yeah.
But log out is instantaneous.
Yeah, sure.
Portal isn't.
It is instantaneously, yeah. Well, it does
Is
have,
it
like, 100 milliseconds
probably a
cooldown or
second
something, like
cast time, and you could be ripping in a second.
yeah, but then you have Diablo, basically.
Oh
That
yeah, that's
that's the thing is why disconnecting is instantaneously is because they don't want to have the Diablo solution. Like, a lot of people suggest stuff like, why not make logout last 5 seconds? Then you also have to make disconnects last 5 seconds because the
yeah.
server cannot distinguish between logout and disconnect. It's basically the same.
Mm.
And then you have this stupid Diablo mechanic where you basically have to make sure that, like, you in Diablo, when I played Diablo, and I'm not lying, most of my rips were in disconnects. And I actually believe when people say most of my rips are in disconnects. I don't believe people when they say this in Path of Exile.
No, I've never
Because the Path of,
ripped to a
yeah,
disconnect.
I know I ripped once in a disconnect. Once in like 6,000 hours.
Yeah.
Or twice maybe. One time I remember, the other like
Yeah.
but
The
I would
servers are
say
good.
99% of rips are not in disconnects.
Okay.
And in Diablo was the way around, because if you disconnect in Diablo, you stay there for like a fucking minute and you just die. You're just dead. If there's a monster,
Yeah.
if monsters nearby,
You
you're
pray
dead.
your
And
defenses, you'll last out.
yeah, and for me, my stream is up here. I don't know your stream.
I'm running. I'm all good.
Okay. I can see this point. To me,
Unfair.
this is it's a perspective thing, because for me, it can never really be it can never really
Hang
be
on a minute.
unfair
You
towards
said
monsters.
right at the beginning of this that the
Yes.
definitions that we weren't try and
Yeah.
things. So it's just said we won't try and dissect the definitions thing and sort of each one
Yeah.
of them going through. If it falls under, again, this is a perspective thing, so this is mine.
If it
I
falls
believe
under,
it's
it goes into cheating direction. I agree with that.
yeah, it falls
But
under that.
for me, it's not unfair. I would argue that it's not unfair. Like, it's not unfair
Oh,
towards the monsters,
really?
because the
Okay.
monsters do not even exist. It's just the way how it's programmed. The
No,
game.
but it's the game.
The
That's what I said right at the beginning. When
Yeah.
we, as players of sports and games and stuff, we enter any competition, whether it's against ourselves or against others, solo competition or team, whatever it is. All games and sports that we enter, we want a fair game, correct?
Yeah, of course.
We want a fair experience, correct?
Yes, of course.
And
Yeah.
this is your opinion, it's not fact, but there. So then for me, if we can do things that monsters can't, that for me makes it unfair. So then, by the way, I
But
don't call it cheating, but based on that
yeah,
definition, it's the one tick box
yeah,
that gives it, and
I
hence,
understand.
I'll just finish this. Hence, that's why you get a lot of the community, some community members or people that will use the word cheating because I think they feel it's unfair. All the other stuff, 100%, it's not. I agree. It's not breaking rules. It's not being dishonest to anybody. It's not hurting anybody, or you're not gaining something from it by doing it. Well, one thing you are gaining is survivability, but that's hardcore. You're there to survive. But it does hit on the unfair, I believe. It fits on the unfair category because you're entering a game where I have more power than what the opposition is, or what the game's monsters are, or mobs, or bosses, or whatever it is, because I have the power, if you want, to control whether I'm here or I'm not. The monsters don't have that. The only thing they have is Shroud Walker ability, where they appear one place or another. So coming back to it, yeah,
Invulnerability aura and
so
stuff.
I get why, and this is what I wanted to say, and I have discussed this with you off stream, but this is why I
Yeah.
get people saying the word cheating, but I don't know if we're moving into the conclusion of this, but I'll say I get why people call it cheating. It's just a very ugly word to use because I think their perspectives is honestly, if they use the word unfair, I think it's it's easier to debate what's fair and what's unfair. One man's fair is another man's unfair, but one man's cheating, that's where it gets a bit dark. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Divine
I can
Shrine,
see this. If
what
actually
that means.
someone is coming from that perspective, it would be great if that would reflect on their postings and comments.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to say, I think you're cheating because I think you're fucking breaking the rules. So like, or I think you're cheating because you are playing it's a bit unfair how you play. I think this is different, a different, it sounds differently, right?
Yeah, it's about
From
the
the
delivery of it.
severity.
And that's why I like my
Yeah.
comments. I'm not defending because it's my video, but
Yeah.
I posed the question in the title of the video, is logging out cheating? So they're only responding. But then if you go in Exiled again and you read some comments down in there, they will then say people are cheating and stuff like that. For me, that's not healthy. It's not productive because who cares what your view is? It's not really wanted or warranted on whether somebody logs out
Yeah.
or doesn't. But for me, I pose that question. So you will get those opinions, whether it is or it isn't. So somebody saying it's
Yeah.
cheating and somebody saying it's not cheating, both opinions are 100% valuable, or not valid, but valuable, valued. That's the word, valued.
I think we will not agree on this,
Yeah,
but
but you
that's
don't
fine.
agree with it, but they're still value.
It's,
They still have value
I mean,
because they're people's views.
like for example, the unfair thing for me, like I can understand that where you're coming from. I will not agree with that,
No,
and
no, it's
that's
fine. It's
fine.
100%.
In my opinion, it's
Yeah, yeah.
fine. Like to me, it's the monsters and players playing after completely different rules. So the
Yeah, but
player
they're the
having one
rules. Yeah,
additional
but
rule.
they're the rules that's set by the game developers, the in-game rules.
Yes. Yeah. And to me, everything that is set by the game developers cannot be unfair because the game developers made it this way. But I don't want to push it too far. This is a very subjective thing, I would say. Like if I can understand if somebody says this is not fair, like using this or that mechanic is not fair. And if this is part of the definition of cheating, you're basically cheating. I can see where when people use that, where they're coming from. I do not agree, but I can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay. I think then we talked about, is logging out cheating or not. Then we come to the last part. And what does hardcore mean for you? To you? For you? For you? To you? To you, sorry.
Okay, I'll say something
The name
now.
of our podcast.
I've said this saying. You know when I got my little sayings? Always a pleasure, never a chore. You ever heard that one?
I think you said that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I have little sayings and weird things in that. One of them is my head, my world.
Yeah.
So hardcore for me, it's in my head and it's in my world. It's my world view. It's my world perspective on the game that I'm interacting with when the kids have gone to bed and the wife is happily watching some TV trash about some doctor falling in love with another doctor. I'm in my world. So for me, hardcore means that I have literally nothing at the beginning of my journey, and then I'll become a god and defeat every single boss in the game on a singular linear path of fight and survival, of conquest, of near rips, of dominating to survival, to nearly dying, to beating bosses, beating the odds, and all that lot. That's what hardcore is for me. That's the experience that I look for. But most important thing, this sounds cheesy now, but it's true. Hardcore is the journeys and the memories that I can share with my friends. Those builds, the support on anyone's journey in whatever way they play hardcore. That's what it means for me, that we're all in it, testing our skills, testing our abilities, testing, having our own journeys and things like that. That's what hardcore is for me. It's a community thing. First, it's my own journey, and then it's the community journey. So yeah, that's what hardcore means for me. Anything else doesn't matter what other people's opinions are. They could actually say that I'm gatekeeping and elitist. But it's true.
Well, we
That's why I
found out
made the
that
video, because I was like, I'm
every
not
hardcore
elitist.
player is a little bit elitist. A little bit.
That's why I'm like, I'm not elitist. Hopefully that came across. So, what's hardcore means for you?
So I started to play hardcore in Diablo 2. I think many people did. I'm
Yeah, I
not
did
sure
as
if
well.
a lot of games had like hardcore before that. Like Diablo 1 did not have that. And like, of course, the like MMOs back then didn't have that, like O2 Online and so on. You died and you just get survived. And in Diablo 2, after you finished it in softcore, you suddenly had the hardcore button, or you know how to edit a file to get it, but you suddenly had it. And I was like, hardcore? Yeah, I'm hardcore. Of course I'm hardcore. Like, it's for me, right? And I never went back because the thrill of able to lose everything when you die and giving meaning to the things you do.
Yes,
This is also an
100%.
this is also an SSF thing, right? Some people say SSF
No, not really. That's
as
a trade thing
non-hardcore.
as well, because you've earned
It's
the right to be able to buy the materials because you've had to farm them. They still
yeah,
have
but
value. Yeah.
I think that in hardcore, every kill has so much more meaning, and I really enjoy that. Like I don't like this. You kill a boss, and okay, you died 4 times, and so it only matters how many tries you basically had, how many portals you had. Like you basically banged your head against it until you were able to do it. And in hardcore, it has so much more meaning. Like killing a
Yes,
boss in
100%.
hardcore gives so much joy, even if it takes you like 10 weeks to kill something. In softcore, people do it after like 4 days, and it feels so good. And for me, I use all the tools that are available to me. To me, like logging out has always been just not always. Like in Diablo, I didn't log out because it was not possible, right? And I still played it. It's not like I did not play Diablo. I played Diablo 2 and 3, and they had this delay, and still everybody played hardcore. All the hardcore players played hardcore, knowing they would die if you disconnect, and knowing you cannot escape. You had a lot of cheat death mechanics, so the hardcore in Diablo is far easier than Path of Exile. I never died so much than in Path of Exile. In Diablo, basically you cannot die. And
They had
I
a big
think
issue with the
it's
hardcore thing on that. There was big community issues on that with the potions and the scrolls. So,
in Diablo.
yeah, Diablo 4, because
Yeah,
I
in
got
Diablo, you're
to.
basically immortal. I still have my Diablo 3 hardcore character I made in 2010 when the servers came up. Never died. It's impossible to die, in my opinion. You had like 3 extra
I don't know.
lives,
Let me
like you
play
have
it.
in
I'll rip
Emirates
it.
and so on. maybe I make some enemies here, but
Yeah.
it's
No, go back.
in my opinion, it's so much easier to stay alive than in Path of Exile. But it is still hardcore. It's still the danger of knowing, like, if I die, I'm gone. I think this the same thrill and feeling carries over to every ARPG. Just Path of Exile is just more difficult.
It's just different
And
challenges and different environments.
yeah, and to me, everything.
Mm.
So I did not look out when I started to play PvE because I was coming from Diablo, and I was like, I never used that, so I never used it in Path of Exile. And there was, I just read it in the forum at some point, like people are just you just log out if it's getting too difficult. And I was like, oh, it's allowed, cool. Then I just do it because it's part of the game mechanic. And I have to say, for the experience, you still get close dead moments. You die. Even if you use logout, you will die. You will be sad. You
That
will
will
lose your
always get
stuff.
you.
But the journey, as you
Mm.
said, the journey is actually more important than farming one boss over and over. Although I also did that, but farming one boss over and over and over again to get one more item, to get 10 more divines or
I love
something.
D2 meth
It's
runs. I disagree, but yeah, I get what you mean. No, in general.
I really like the journey. Like, I think setting up your character, climbing up, getting the gear to actually be able to farm high level maps, and then being able to do the bosses, and preparing a whole season to maybe do in sadly PoE 2 does not have it yet, but maybe next patch. But in PoE 1 to actually fight uber bosses in hardcore is such an amazing journey. It's also a good loop, and it's such a great loop because you're playing like 1.5 months, and then you're doing these bosses. If you die, you're fucked. You can't, like,
Yeah.
because all your work is gone. And this is just it's just amazing in hardcore, right? Killing any boss. For me, it's actually doing these check marks in hardcore SSF. It's just amazing. Mostly bosses, right? Like, mostly if you're able to kill a boss for the first time, like killing Arbiter for the first time, is like, even if you blast him down, I also blast him down. if you're just clicking down in like 30 seconds, right? But it still feels
You
amazing
get people say
to
that's
know
unethical. There's always bitches and stuff
it's
because it's like, well, no,
whatever.
hang on, I planned
It's
it
just how the
right.
game.
Yeah, but I
It's
planned it
just how
right.
the game. Yeah, you plan it right. It's just how
I
the game works.
resourced. I went
And
with a different strategy, and I blasted him down. Job done.
to be fair, Arbiter has some very phase 1 wonky mechanics. The bombs can fall off screen, and
I
then you're
don't
just
trust
dead
it.
as
I
half the
don't
player.
trust the fight.
Yeah,
That's
you're
why I
just
want
dead. There's
Yeah.
1 in a 10 chance that it drops so far off screen that you do not realize where the bomb is, and you just die. And I think that's really bad for hardcore. You do not really have this in PoE 1. In PoE 1, the mechanics are far better in this. But this is just this is the only thing on Arbiter I don't like. The falling bombs off screen.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Okay, that was
And
what else on hardcore? Because this is a really long. This is longer. I thought mine was short, but yours is. There's a lot what you like about hardcore.
it's for me, hardcore means if you die, everything is gone. I don't have. For me, there are no other rules, other honorable rules that I need to look at, and I'm completely fine. Like, when you're playing with no logout, I like to watch that, and it also looks more thrilling sometimes. Yeah, when you're fighting some monsters, and it's like, actually, he could die here. I would, like, if I would feel this is getting too much pressure from monsters, I just log out. But when I watch your stream, I sometimes think, like, you could actually die here because you will not log out. Like, this could actually become a dangerous situation. Like, for most people, this will never become dangerous. But if you don't look out, it becomes a dangerous situation under some circumstances. So it's interesting.
And what you just nailed is the spirit of hardcore for me, because I've had 5 or 6 moments where I've survived down to absolutely, thanks, Lolas. I'll kill him. I've had 5 or 6 experiences where, and Nugron only is the same. He's a no logout gamer as well. God, I'm making us sound like we're a species, but I've had about 5 experiences where I've survived. There's one where I'm exhausted. I was fighting a breach that just went completely wrong. I was fighting for my life. I was literally mono on breacho, and I was blasting. My health bar was going up and down, up and down, up and down, and I managed to survive. And literally, there's a bit of me you can see why I just go like that, because the adrenaline and fear that I
Yeah.
had in that fight, that experience is unique to me, and it's the hardcore experience for me. I survived against the odds, and I came through it, and I did it fairly. And
I
that's where the
can
unfair bit comes in for me. That's why I understand a little bit of that side of things. It's not my worldview, by the way. Coming back
no,
onto it, I don't
I
want to re hit a dead horse, but yeah. So that's the experience. What
yeah,
hardcore means for me. I want a fair fight.
I can absolutely understand that.
That's it.
And for example, logging out will not take this away because
He's
very
such an
often,
asshole. Have you seen Lolas's
very
comment?
he's we have last months don't. Yeah, it's terrible, unfair.
Such a dick.
The thing is,
Yeah,
often,
it's true.
just because you can log out, there are often situations where you don't, because you are in a part of a fight where you're like, no, I have to finish this phase. If I don't finish this phase, I have to do it again or something. And it does become this. For example, I don't know if you've seen
Mm.
the boss fights in PoE1, like Searing Exarch and stuff. They have phases sometimes where you have like the dodge bullet health and so on, and you cannot reset these phases. If you log out and you do it again, you have to do it again. And you often have situations where you actually drop in health. You drop into like 50%, 40%, but you have to push on, otherwise you have to do it again.
Yeah.
And it's it's less the situations in maps. Yeah, you don't really have this fights against hordes of monsters where you get whistled down. That will not happen if you log out, because you just log out. But it happens in boss fights. And also what happens is, of course, you know that also, when you get hit really hard by a boss and you drop to like 10%, and you're
Yeah.
like, this is also the moment where you're like, holy fuck, I just survived. I could have been dead. Like if the boss rolled a little bit more damage, or the
Yep.
boss rolled a crit, I would have been dead here. I would have been just dead. Game would be over for me. I think this is an amazing experience that a lot of people, and this is regardless if you log out or not, this will happen to everyone playing hardcore. And it's just an amazing experience, right? It's like this, like, fuck, like I
Yeah, it's
just
adrenaline
survived
rush.
this.
We're adrenaline
Yeah,
junkies.
yeah,
Okay. I think we got there.
sure.
How do you feel? Don't
Me?
say with your hands. As my ex-girlfriend used to say it all the time.
I think this podcast goes much longer than planned.
Yeah, it did go much longer than planned. We suck at schedules. I thought this was supposed to be an hour podcast, maybe an hour and a half.
I thought so too. I mean, we did very well with the structure, in my opinion. It just went far longer than expected.
And technical delivery. It's terrible. We need to sort that out. I don't think anyone
Actually,
stream.
I still have I really want to have some more comments from the community for this.
Well, our chat.
From the video for this part, for what is hardcore for me.
You want to still deep dive into this? Wow.
Oh, I just want to read some nice comments about not cheating.
Yeah, we focused.
We
on
don't have to
negative.
We don't have to deep dive, but so we end on a positive note, maybe.
Okay.
We don't need to deep dive into that. Okay, let me just go for that.
Yeah.
So I have some more comments from the community. Doctor Gets Wrecked said, "This was a great take to watch, and your highlights of meaningful drops and progression of characters are exactly why I love HCSSF." So this person obviously loves the progression, like the journey, right?
Yep.
I think we agree with that. I think that is very important. That is more in HCSSF. The journey is
the key word.
far bigger than
The key word is self. Take the solo. Take the found away. Self. It's your self journey. It's your journey. It's a single player experience. There you go.
I have more. Whatever
so
media PoE said. This was great watch. While I do lean to the side of logout as another expression of reaction time and skill, I do appreciate that there are those who want that extra challenge. I like the example you gave of equality. You can log out, but the mobs cannot. Great work.
Thank you. That was
Like this.
I think
And
it was a
for
good
more
video. I
from
don't like
Vizzy.
myself, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, I stole all the comments here from Theo's video, guys. So always the videos mentioned. Great video. I learned more towards your side, especially with PoE2 balance being more hardcore friendly. To me, playing hardcore without logout option is about wanting a thrilling journey and seeing how far your character can go. You expect to die at some point, and you're willing to accept that fate. It's less about the power fantasy of an endgame character and more about the symbiosis of your gameplay, decision, and preparation and build.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
I like that one.
I think I have one more or two more.
Yeah, one
Two
more.
more. TNI said, to me, it defeats the whole purpose of playing hardcore. Okay, this is, I think, a negative one.
This doesn't suit me. This is not what I want to hear. It's the truth.
He said, to me, it defeats the whole purpose of playing
Okay.
hardcore, but I also don't play hardcore in games that expect 100 of hours grinding and love to 100 to 0 you in a fraction of a second for making a small mistake. Yeah, this is more like maybe
that's
not.
PoE1. That stuff's brutal. Yeah. Terrible.
Gemel said, I understand people that log out. I don't, because I think it defeats the purpose of hardcore. But the game has so many one-shots and plain unfair shit at the time that I end up getting why people log out to avoid deaths.
Me too.
And that's it.
Okay.
That's just some comments that are not immediately going into you're cheating. More like,
no, I'm very proud of the people. The internet surprised me. Come on, you think about it. You go through all that, even the ones that are against or for, they're all, even the ones that said that they don't mind it, they weren't attacking the other side. It was actually nice to see. There was no attacking. It was just, this is what I think, which is great because that then opens debate and exploration, which that was the purpose of the video. It was to add then maybe the ones that are gatekeepy and elitist, maybe it took, I'm not saying I'm one of their own, but it took one of their own to say, take it down a temperature. It's not, and to perhaps, I mean, I'm not the gatekeeper of No Logouts, definitely not, but you get what I mean. I felt like I wanted to do that.
You're not? Okay.
What do you mean I'm saying I'm not? I'm not the gatekeeper of No Logouts. I don't have a society with members. I've got a great Discord channel. Better than that guy that did all that trading. What was that guy who did all that trading? On PoE1? I can't remember that guy who did all the trading, had thousands.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how it was called. Yeah, that was banned, right? With all the mirror items from the secret trove or something was the Discord called, like this
that's
training.
it, Janebu.
Yeah, that guy,
yeah. I'm not the Janebu of No Logouts. I don't have an army of No Logout community members. Do you know my chat are not No Logout? I think you are. I don't think I've got any chat that is No Logout gamers. I know Crouching flirts with it, bless him. Are you Lolus? I am noticing you, sweetie. I can hear you. I think Lolus does as well. Yeah, he did mention to me he's flirting with it. I never log out anymore. Well, there you go, Twinson.
Do you guys play Path of Exile 1 or 2 or both? And if so, how far did you get in PoE 1? I really would like to know someone who's not logging out, how far they get in PoE 1.
Crouching plays both. He's a veteran.
I think
so
I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think it's going to be like going for like all Uber bosses in HCSSF without logout is extremely difficult in my opinion.
He's been to maps, but not difficult. Uber bosses in PoE 1. But I'm not saying Crouching's a convert. I'm not trying to convert people, but he just said he never logs out anymore. So he used to log out before RIP, but he doesn't anymore. That's an interesting thing. Oh my God, we're extending this podcast now. But you have an individual person there that's now, I'm not saying he's changed his, he's made a different decision. So he's choosing his own rules now to play a different style. And this is what I keep saying, it's a play style. It's
Yeah,
not a,
you make your own rules,
yeah,
your
it's
your
not a
your own rules,
gatekeeping
and
rule. But it's interesting
I'm
that
also not.
Crouchins
Yeah,
now and Lola's. I didn't play PoE2 no logout yet. I changed this PoE1 league, but for PoE1, same as Crouching. So yeah, I mean, it's easier to play no logout gaming on PoE2. I've experienced PoE1 now
yes,
for a little
it
amount of
is.
time. I think PoE1, and I can't believe I'm saying this, even though I don't do no logouts on PoE1, I think you do need to do that. The damage spikes are too ridiculous, too quick, too fast, and it becomes a reaction defense, a reactionary defense to stop yourself from dying.
I think that I think so that PoE1 is more difficult in the end game. I think actually
Yeah.
PoE2 is more difficult in the campaign, and to get to the end game and get to this 10,000 energy shield defense, and then you're basically mortal.
There is like a
But
wobble.
I
There is
think
a wobble, but once you get
yeah,
past that blip,
yeah,
and that
I
blip
I
is
think
yeah.
PoE2 is harder to get there, and PoE1 in my opinion PoE1 is easier in the early game, and then it gets harder because also it has harder
Yeah.
content to the top end. And I'm not saying anything like if you have not done Uber bosses in HCSF, you're a bad hardcore player or something. That would be completely ridiculous. But I'm very curious if people who do not log out actually achieved that, because it is also like
In PoE1.
if I had not logged out in this season, I would have not been able to do Uber bosses. I would have died at some point.
Mm.
I had to log out several times. Also because of the builds I play, because I play minions, and if the bosses kill all your minions, what do? If you don't log out, you're just running in a circle, and
No,
you
I
like
understand, and
you.
I can't comment on builds on that
Yeah,
whether you can or
for
not.
some builds, it might be necessary to log out because you need like your specters back and so on, and if you play minions.
Okay.
Um,
I
but
will
I had
safely say PoE1, I think logging out, I think it needs to because how the game has been designed and the way how the spikes are. But for PoE2, I mean, I haven't done Arbiter 2 yet, and I haven't done Ciliacrium 3, and I haven't done Atziri. So I need to do Atziri. But
at zero is actually compared to Arbor just easy.
yeah,
Like
so I'm
she's like a
confident I
middle
would do
boss
it.
only,
But
right?
whether I do it or not, I got to 100 without logging out. So it is possible to do it. I am the case to prove that you can do it in PoE2. You can play the game without logging out.
It's funny because in Period 2, I think there's a macro, but I'm not using logo macro in Period 2. Like I'm just
I don't think you
like
can do it
pause
in
it.
PoE2, can you? I
I'm very
don't know.
sure
I've
you
never.
can use basically the same like thing. Like you can just close the game and close the TCP ports.
Yeah.
But in Period 2, and I never felt like I needed to. First of all, pause works in almost every situation where you need it. And for boss fight, as I said, for boss fights, it is often not needed because boss fights are very mechanically, right? If you have done the boss fight, it's like the boss fight.
Yeah, but you don't need to
You-
pause or log out in PoE2. The game is achievable to do it without
Thank you for the
pausing.
follow.
Oh, you got a follow, bless you. Yeah, you can play the game without logging out or pausing. You can do that. I'm proof of that. It can happen. You can do it. And I'm not a great gamer,
Yeah.
so it's not. I'm not a Ben level
Well,
skill type player.
you just need to kill Arbiter 2.
Yeah,
But I have to say, if you like with your build, if you have killed Arbiter 1, Arbiter 2, it's not more hard. It's not more difficult.
no, it's just
It just
HP.
has more
But
HP.
take
It's just more
but
HP.
take away what boss can and can't do. That is, I've got to 100. So
Yeah.
that's a milestone in itself. But I've got to 100. I've engaged with the bosses without having to log out or pause to get there. So what I'm saying is PoE1 is a lot more difficult because that's what you asked the question. Can you get to Uber bosses and stuff? Now, as the content gets bigger in PoE2, because remember, there's only like Arbiter, Atziri,
Yeah.
and that's it. So let's have this conversation maybe in 10 years' time when there are
Yeah.
8 Uber bosses, then you got your pinnacle bosses, and then it's like, okay, how far am I going to get? Because I was there 9, 10 bosses in Uber bosses in Path of Exile.
I think 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and
9
I've
or
seen
10.
Maven. I don't think I could cope with Maven. So, what I'm saying is that me completing all those bosses without logging out, if they were in PoE2, I don't know. But as the game stands now, it is possible to play the whole game without logging out or without needing to pause. You
Yeah,
can do it. You
because
can beat
the
and
power
defeat the
spike
game.
is so high. The power spike you can
Mm.
achieve in PoE2 is so high that you can just like blast down all the bosses with
Oh, Westy
in
West.
the moment with comment and everything.
Twice I've ripped to that.
King of the Mist melee.
Yeah, that's my PTSD. Well, that's why I logged out on that PoE1 with the
Yeah, you.
yeah.
This is the thing about logout. Also, is you will have a hard time to test any fight or test any mechanic. You basically need to research it before you do it. If you
Yeah, you
don't
could say
like
you
with
could dip
logout,
into softcore, but then do you know what? And this is where it gets even more
yeah, but
funnier. Then you get the elite. There's different tiers of hardcore players because some people say it's unethical to go and learn how to play hardcore
yeah,
in
and not play
softcore.
blind.
Yeah,
Yes,
and test and not play blind. And it's like, because I had that questioned off ethics against my own rules. So I just want to make that clear in chat. That while I was playing, I thought, looking up, who's that first boss with the sludge? You know, you have to run with the King of the Mist.
the hunger
The
boss. It's
hunger,
not
yeah.
the Eat of the World. It's an infinite
Infinite.
hunger.
Yeah, him.
Infinite hunger.
Even some hardcore players will look at me, even though I'm a no logout gamer, they would have looked at me and said, "You're unethical because you've looked on a YouTube to see the mechanics before you actually fought the boss." So
Yeah.
even I'm not immune to the trolls or elitism that you can get in hardcore. And hardcore's actually, if we now look on it top down, there are so many different styles of way people play hardcore, where softcore's a bit one dimension, which is fine because that's
Yes.
softcore trade. But hardcore, there are so many different play styles. Again, do you go in fully blind? Is it cheating if you actually get a build guide?
Which
I'm
is
not
your
saying
own
it's cheating,
decision,
but
right? If you want to play
exactly,
blind.
and that's the beauty of hardcore, that it's about your journey, and whatever journey you want to make of it is your journey. It's not for somebody else to go, well, you're not a hardcore player then. That's just outrageous that anybody can say that about anybody else that plays hardcore. Because you want to go, do you want to try hardcore? Come on, let's play. But let them do what they paid the money. It's their money. It's their time. They want to lose that time in 10 minutes or they want to lose that time in 100 hours. You let them be them, you know?
Yeah. I think that is for everyone up to decide. And if you go in completely blind to a boss fight, like for example Maven,
Technically, that's
there's
true hardcore then.
sure, but if you
Well, it
decide to do
is,
that, which is
maybe.
fine,
Yeah.
but I don't want to take I would say if I would play Maven completely blind, there's at least like I will over prepare with my character and everything. It will be very strong, but still like a
Nuke it.
50% chance I die, because at least 50%.
Yeah.
Because there you need to be lucky to understand her mechanics. If you misinterpret her mechanics, she will one shot you. Like she straight out one shot you.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the memory game
Yeah,
where
I've
you
seen the
have to
memory game. I
realize?
know.
Yeah,
That's why I'm scared of it.
if you misinterpret it, like if she says like where you are supposed to go, but you could be like, okay, I'm not supposed to go there. Maybe you think it in the different way, right? The platforms highlight, and you're like, I'm not allowed to go there. And if you play it that way, you die. You're just dead. You just die. And so this is not a risk I would ever take. Like just simply me not understanding the mechanic on the first try. It's to me like, okay, I'm just
Especially you get into
basically
that. There's a lot of gear. There's a lot of time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of leveling.
Yes.
There's a lot of bosses that you've had to fight to get to that point to then go, I'm going to go into it completely blind and lose it. For me, I actually agree with that. I will have a look and research into that boss to try and see. I haven't done it with all of them. I mean, you know,
the middle bosses sometimes are not the
you
most
can work it
important thing.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, the most important thing for me always is if there's a new boss, like for example in the Mirage League that we just had, there was a new boss. And the only thing I wanted to know is, does this boss have a real one-shot? I don't care if this boss does 5,000 damage. I will be able to tank that. But I want to know, does this boss have a real one-shot? So I need to know the mechanic. And yes, he has. Like he has like a wind up and then does a slam and kills you. Like he does like 100,000
Mm.
physical damage. So this is just the most important thing you need to know as a hardcore player. Like, does this boss have a one shot and how does it look like? And same for Maven, for example, you need to know like her memory
Mm.
game. This is a one shot. Her brain blast is a one shot. And there are a lot of mechanics. Also, when you do Searing Exarch, there's a one shot. In Eater of the
Worlds.
Worlds
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
one
yeah,
shot
yeah, yeah.
mechanic. This is what I think you either need to look up before, or if you play with Logout, you go into and you try to gauge it, to be like, okay, this looks like a really dangerous slam. Let's log out and maybe look this up. So,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
for
but
example,
this,
the Maven mechanic.
yeah, but this is where PoE 2 is better than PoE 1 because it'll give you a little bit. Hey, you're just about to fight a boss. Oh, okay. I'll just make sure I'm checked
Yeah,
and ready.
sure,
Where PoE
sure.
1, you just walk in next minute. I
Just
will
walk in and just
destroy
go.
you, and you're like,
Inside the
what
pinnacle
happened?
bosses have
Yeah,
their own area.
yeah.
Like it's if you go into the pinnacle bosses, like you have to put this in your
Yeah.
map device to start the
I
fights.
think ultimately coming back, what does hardcore mean for you? I just think it's mean as survival. And you go back to
Yeah,
the
of
Luis
course.
Suarez thing, and this is why I'd say I like going back to that point. He did whatever it took to survive. Whether your interpretation of what he did was right or wrong, the ultimate goal is that they won. He survived, his team survived. So going back into hardcore, whatever way it takes for you to survive, I salute it because we're all on that journey. We've all got that one character, that one life, and
Yeah,
you do whatever it is. If you want to do it that way, you do it that way. If I want to do it this way, I will do it that way. If you want to do it completely blind, without no guide, without nothing, then you're going to have a very hard time. Or unless you can do everything completely blind, then that person is a true God gamer. Not
of course.
Quinn69. It will be the person who has no build guide, no bosses. He's never fought anything. He just literally stepped in like my 9-year-old stepped in, and if she did everything blind and killed everything and survived, she will be the God gamer. But that ain't gonna
Yeah,
happen because that's really unrealistic. But that's the point. That's probably the only true hardcore way.
yeah. But for me, it's very just simplistic, as you said at
If
the
you wanted to
beginning.
get anal,
You have
that's what
one
I'm
life.
saying. If you want to get anal
Yeah.
retentive, that
To,
would
to me,
be
it's,
your
you have
complete
one life, and everybody who signs up for that, however, whatever mechanics they
no build
want to use
guides,
or not to use,
no guide
I
videos, no looking up on YouTube, no referencing, no looking at just literally you just play everything you come across. So if you die at level 43 to, let's say, the Queen of Filth, because she rolls her fat and slams you, that's
yeah.
it. You go back again, start. So that's your journey. That's probably the
I mean,
only true
this is
hardcore way
basically
you can do it.
this is how I started to play Path of Exile. Yeah, when I started to play Path of Exile, I downloaded the game. I came from D3, so of
Yeah,
course I'm a great hardcore player, right? ARPGs are a joke for me, and I selected hardcore and I played hardcore, and I died like 6-7 times during the campaign until I
yeah.
finished the campaign. And it's fine. I salute to everyone. I am happy for everyone who presses this button, select hardcore,
And plays it.
SSF or not,
Yeah.
and plays hardcore. And if you're so good, you pass everything, great, cool, be a member of the community.
Yeah.
And if you die 20 times, but you keep playing, making new characters, like I know people who like never reached more than level 30 in PoE2, and they play hardcore. And but they keep playing hardcore because they like the experience, like the journey.
Mm.
And I salute to that. I'm like, you are a hardcore player. You are one of the community.
Community.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you do Uber bosses or if you
Well,
cannot do the campaign,
that's why I said
but you
what
stick around,
hardcore. Yeah, but
you keep
that's why I
playing.
said what hardcore is for me. And I ended up with not a cheesy saying, but I said it's the community feel. Because
Yeah.
it's almost like right, here we go. You get this in Germany. You know, when you see another motorcyclist pass another motorcyclist on a bike, they do this as they pass each other. They nod each other. They don't know each other, but when they pass each other on the road, they give themselves a nod, each other a nod, because they're
They are part
bikers.
of the same family.
Yeah, they're bikers. And that's what hardcore players are. We give each other a nod of like, it's that meme, you know, that Robert Redford meme when he's looking and then he
Yeah.
gives you that. That's what hardcore players are. That we're part of a
Yeah, if you're
band, we're
not an
part of a group.
asshole.
Yeah, because riding a bike is dangerous shit. So, you do. I don't know if you ever see it, but I see it all the time in England. When you get another biker that passes another biker, they give each other a nod of recognition. And that's what hardcore in Path of Exile 2 for hardcore players is a nod of recognition that you are on that journey. That's it. Full stop. Boom. Mic drop. See you later.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. Do you think that was good speech, chat? I did.
I think it was a great speech.
Did you? Me too. Can we give each other a nod?
Oh.
Let's give
Oh,
Crouching a
07?
nod. Yeah. Crouching, do you have
You know
that
what
in
we're
the
talking to.
America? In America. You know, when
In the
motorbike
Americas.
guys drive past each other, do they give each other like a nod as they drive past each other? Bikers and things. Do you get that in the States? We do a low open hand to the side. Oh, see, there you go. They have a low open hand, almost a low wave. Okay, we have a nod thing. They always nod each other. Right, any biker that passes another biker, they give each other a quick little nod. Okay, right.
Well,
we done
great.
or?
I think so. I think we talked about everything. We talked about cheating, logout, in
Nearly
general,
3
hardcore,
hours.
what this means for people. It's
Gonna be
almost
murder
3
on the
hours.
YouTube.
Well, longer than expected, as always, because we are
Mm.
terrible in obviously time management. But I think
What?
I hope you enjoyed it, everyone.
I hope you enjoyed
Chat,
it, chat.
you
This is the last time I
liked
will
this.
talk about this for my chat. I don't want to flog a dead horse. I think my YouTube video and this, you enjoyed it. Aw. But yeah. Do you feel like this is the only time we'll discuss this? Unless somebody comes up, you know, some new hot hardcore player comes up. They'll get us
I don't know.
old. I can't believe I'm a
Maybe
year
I
older
will
than
tell
you.
you on every on every rip I see from you, I will just send you could have looked out.
That's fine, because it's true.
Ooh.
It is factual. I could have logged out. Oh, no, this is fine. You called it the rip. I think it will come around again. It might. But we can tackle it
Yeah.
together, can't we? Me and
But
you.
more in things like maybe actual rip clips and talking about boss mechanics and so on. Who knows?
Yeah, I said I think Blaze was in chat. That graphic at the
He
bottom of
was,
the
yeah.
screen. You have died. Yeah. We are going to talk about builds and things, chat. Let's not try. We're not going to have like these type. Well, we got. Hang on. I don't like Path of Exile 2 at the moment. Did we talk about how I'm not impressed with the teaser trails? We're streaming
skipped,
now.
no,
Right, hang on.
we-
Wait, the podcast finished. Now we're just having a chat.
Okay,
Before-
we skipped that. Actually, I have this on my script, and
Yeah.
I sadly skipped over this. We want to do this in the beginning, but now we can do it now. Maybe.
The old
What do you
teaser
think
thing
about
sucks.
the
I got told off by my
POT
chat because I
teasers?
was being negative. But do you know what?
Yeah.
I just. But I actually watched Daft Microtransaction, old Raid Shadow Legends content creator. He did a breakdown of it. I kind of read it. They're reworking. I think he's right. They're reworking all of the mechanics. Delirium, Expedition, Breach.
I agree so too. And the last, I don't know, have you seen the breach one where
Yeah, with
they
the
were
sword.
talking about the dreamer?
And the sword. I love
the sword,
comments.
yeah.
I love comments in chat. Swords confirmed. Log in. I saw a sword. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
the narrator said something like the war is beginning or the war will start. And I thought, I hope if they keep this never-ending atlas and stuff, this is like teasing that they will connect the mechanics more to the areas and the maps. Like, I would really like to see that we actually combat stuff on the map and conquer maps and relose maps and to the breach lords and take them back, and maybe also with delirium and overlapping mechanics, and like more at the moment it's all like more map based. Beside corruption, for example, it's like map based. Like you have a map and then you have your breach, you have your delirium. But maybe it would be cool to have it more
What
like an
zonal?
atlas wide thing. Yeah, it's zoning. Not too. Zone is difficult because maybe if you want to farm
Oh,
something, you have
West.
to run from zone to zone to zone. But have more an interactive thing with the atlas,
Look at
where
Westy
actually
West comment.
conquering. Hmm?
That's a good comment by
Like a big
Westy
game
West.
of Risk. Yes. Westy.
Sorry to
Westy
interrupt, but
West.
that's a good
No,
point.
no. Yeah, like a big game of Risk, for example. Yeah,
Mm.
something like that. Like have the Atlas be more interactive with these mechanics, and you actually have to fight them on the Atlas.
On their
Fight
own
for,
turf.
fight for resources. Fight for, I don't know, like fight for breach resources or something. Like I think you
What,
can
like going to
expand on
war?
this.
Like Risk? Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
a Warhammer 3 Total War map, campaign map, and then you go
Yes.
and compete. Well, that's what you do. You go and compete for resources. You go and conquer. And then you'll have
Yeah.
the legendary lord, which is like Grimgor or Karl Franz or the Chaos Lords, and then you go and fight them to be able to get their magical equipment. So what you're saying, a bit like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think they need to connect. Like the corruption is connected to that, right? You have corruption on the map, and you have corruption on the atlas,
I get what you
and
mean.
you have corruption
Yeah,
in the maps. Like connect these things more. Like what happens on the atlas with what happens in the map. Like that it has more influence on each other. I would like to see that. Because just because in the breach teaser they were talking about wars coming or the wars starting, but yes, I agree. For me, the teasers are like whatever in terms of content. Nice videos, but I thought I would be more what is actually in the game for a teaser, like a little bit more made,
Yeah, I didn't like it. I don't like GGG at the moment.
Okay, I wouldn't go so far.
No, I don't.
But
I saw
I
it.
mean,
It irritated me. I was like, "Why are you doing this to me?" It's just a cheat. I understand the league is so long at the moment, and I understand that. So you've got Diablo 4 out there. I understand from a marketing perspective and to generate interest in keeping people on board or keeping the faith, which totally understand it. But when you drop that first healer tracer with just the things coming up, I was just like,
yeah, that was like whatever.
whatever. And then you get the next one with the spider, and I was just like,
Yeah, whatever.
whatever.
The Delirium I liked because it had a little bit of a horror theme. Like
Yeah, Delirium
but
one. What? That's the thing. If they delivered the Delirium one, just that one, then you could have looked at it and went, "Oh, that's interesting," because there was like something. But I mean, to drop
make it more horror-like.
to drop the building bursting out, the ancients, whatever it was, to then wait for 2 weeks before Thursday, I was like, I'd rather not have done that and just did it 48 hours, all 3 of those collected into one and a half minute, because they're all about 30 seconds, and then did it 48 hours before the live stream. That would have got people.
They are called not teasers, not trailers, as Chet saying, which is true.
Yeah, that's
But
what I mean,
I'm
trailers, but I put them into a singular trailer. That's what I'm saying.
In the past, in PoE seasons, teasers actually, when they did teasers, were included more like game stuff, like a little glimpse on the mechanics that they would do.
Yeah. Sorry, Cell saying it's working. It's meant to tease you. It's doing the opposite. It's off-putting me.
It's not.
It's making me go. Do you know what? It's actually quite dangerous because I love Path of Exile 2. Come Thursday, I'm gonna love it. But at the moment, I'm out of love with it. I couldn't really care less at the moment because I find it irritating because it's nothing. It's just like you're insulting my intelligence. This is just I can't. It's nothing, if you know what I mean. So for me, my perspective, I look at it and just go, I don't understand the point. It's not teasing me because it wasn't. If it was supposed to be a tease, then it's failed for me. If from my perspective, now it might have teased everybody, and everybody likes that type of tease. We don't want to kink shame anyone, but if that's what type of tease they like, then that's cool. If it's worked on you got 100 people and it's worked on 80 of them, the 80-20 rule, then that's fine. I sit in the 20 where I'm like, I just,
Yeah.
okay, brilliant.
But
I'm
I'm sure on
excited.
Thursday it's all gonna be okay. It's gonna be
No,
completely
Thursday.
fixed.
Oh yeah, Thursday. It'll be
I think
pumping.
that I think because they delayed content from 04 to 05,
That's why
and
they
they
had to
also
do
delayed
something, which I get. I get that.
and they also made 04 so much longer.
Yeah.
So they I mean 05 has to be a big bomb. Like it has to completely drop the content on us and just bury us under content. Like if that
Yeah,
is
but
that is,
this, yeah, but
that not
this is the
happening,
bit.
that's
This
really
is the bit
bad.
that's weird. I understand. I've had some debates with my chat on it, and I love my chat because we can have adult conversations, which is awesome. Well, maybe a couple of them. But they did say like whatever it takes, and I understand that perspective. Whatever it takes, if they need, because this is the bit you get the Thursday interview, then you got to wait until the end of the month, so it's another 3 weeks or 4 weeks
Yeah.
before. Not normally, there is no rules, but normally, so they're not cheating. It's they'll do the live review, and then a week later you'll get the league start the league. So this is a bit
Yes.
unusual to go for that long, not 2 weeks, not 3
Yeah.
weeks, but
I
4
also don't know
weeks.
why they're doing that, but sure. Yeah.
But this is the whole point. So I've not fallen out of love with it. I know I said that, but it's kind of it's made me fall out that I care about it. I don't care about it at the moment. I look at it and just go, I'm not interested. Thursday's going to change because I'll be like, take my money straight away because I'll be like all hyped but it's just, nah. God, I'm so
A lot does
negative.
not mean good.
And
I
gaming world called
still
Opposite
have
Swords, maybe.
to me, I still have like I think the GGG still has a lot of trust from the community, and I'm still
massive.
absolutely believe that they will
Massive.
make it well. Like
I'm a noob.
they have
I've only been
they have
here for a year.
shown
So
over time, over years
yeah.
that they always can do it. So
I've only been playing this game
mean,
for a
it's
year, so my experience with GGG is very minimum. So I bow to people like you, for example, who played it for 8-10 years, whatever. Cell has crouching, Lolis has been playing it longer than me, but because he's a PoE1 gamer. But I do bow to your experience where if you guys say I've got faith in them, then I've Kink in my chat as well. Exile as well. He's got lots of faith. I bow to I draw from that experience to give me comfort, but at the same time,
yeah.
I have my logical business brain on, and I just go, it's so irritating.
GGG has always been the company that is actually really trying out stuff and really doing changes. Not like other companies who are just
No, I
like
get that.
turn the wheel
That was
like
Diablo
a
4.
little bit.
Reskin
Yeah,
everything.
like
Vampire powers.
like basically
Vampire powers.
really try out new
Yeah, I get
stuff,
that.
and it actually sometimes completely sucks. There has been leaks that were complete dumbfire, like dog shit, like really terrible. But that's the price you pay. That's the price you pay if you want to have an innovative company on this side. If you want to have a company, that takes the risks to actually do the changes that are required. And they always did that in the past. And even in my opinion, in PoE 2, like the patches always have been, there was a lot always in the patches, even if people do not like the Val Temple much, but Druid and everything, the Druid and the Val Temple itself is an interesting mechanic. Just not everybody likes it and stuff, So,
I just wish they waited they did it a week earlier, not 2 weeks. That first teaser track, because I know it's got that Kelly at GGG. She's doing the postings and stuff. I quite like that because that has been good. See, that's a proper tease. So I like that tease because it's a photo, so it's like a picture game, and people try and work things out. Easter eggs. That's cool. I actually approve of that. I approve Kelly at GGG. I like that sort of stuff because that generates interactions because you're trying to solve a mystery, like a murder mystery. I like that. The teaser that they did with the ancients and then with the spider thing, I was just like, I felt it was unnecessary. They could have done that a week before, started a week, not 2 weeks, a week before, and did it like that, I probably would have gone, okay, I got 5 days to the interview. Here's a teaser, here's a teaser, here's a teaser. You get what I mean? I just thought that 2 weeks, then I just kind of switched off because I was like, oh, I got to wait. I know they said they were going to drop other teasers in there, but
I think for
Thursday,
me
I'm going to be
to,
like this. I'm so good. I'm so excited. Like that, probably.
I think for me to abandon PoE, like for example, like Blizzard, they probably have to like basically crash every patch for 1 year or something, like for the whole
Oh,
next year. Like
massively.
if they release
Yeah,
0.5
yeah.
or if they
It's
announce
different
0.5 and it's
conversation.
actually shit, I would be like, okay, maybe I skip next season. But 0.6 is going to be, I mean, come on, they will get the shit together for 0.6 then, right? So I'm gonna wait for 0.6 and be
Yeah,
like,
no,
oh,
I
I
get
would
that. I
probably
get
play
that.
0.5.
They've
I
got
would probably
so
play
much credit
0.5,
in the
even if
bank.
it looks, even
Yeah.
if
I
it
hear
looks like
this.
shit.
They've got
I
credit in the
would play
bank.
this.
Yeah.
But I'm not going like for example for Blizzard. After the D4 release,
Yeah.
I'm not even playing any other patch. Like there's no more credit for that. Like
I
it's like
did
you
2
just give us
seasons and then
fucking Immortal, and
yeah,
then you giving us a D4 that is completely bricked and shit in the beginning. Like,
language.
sorry, but
Yeah.
this credit is gone. Bye.
No, I get that. Well, look, let's roll on for 0.5 on Thursday.